Time, the silent herald of life and death, success or failure, the unseen force that measures man's destiny, reaching its most fateful moment as it slowly strikes the 11th hour.
Why, of course they are, Jeremy.
Oh, they said so? They told you they were?
Goodness, what a lot of questions. It'd be a whole lot better for you, young Jeremy, to lie still in that bed and get your old throat better.
It is better.
That boy doesn't get better all at once from having his tonsils removed.
Honest, I'm better. Can I go home this afternoon? When they come, can I go home with them?
Not quite yet, Jeremy. Hey, now, no need to look so sad. Only a few more days.
I miss them, you see. Mother and Father and Jason. Especially Jason.
Well, don't you worry. They'll be here on the dot of 3 as soon as visiting hour starts. My, Jeremy, that was a short visit they paid you. It's only just gone 3:30.
They didn't come.
They didn't? That's too bad.
Didn't they send any message?
I don't think so.
Well, wouldn't just not come.
Maybe something delayed them. I'll call them. That is, if they're not here in 5 minutes.
Well, I wouldn't want to put you to any trouble, Matron.
You're not. After all, I can't have one of my patients upset, can I? I'll go and see if they're on their way. All 3 of them?
Yes. Head-on collision. They never had a chance.
That poor little boy.
Boy?
Jeremy. Tonsils. Ward 4.
Oh, yeah. What's going to happen to him?
I've no idea, Doctor. He has no near relatives living, I understand.
It'll be the county orphanage for him, then. I'd better go tell him about the accident.
Doctor, he's a gentle little boy. Don't be too brisk, will you?
Are they here yet, my folks?
No, Jeremy. I'm afraid they're not. Look, we better have a little talk, you and I, man to man, you know?
Talk? What about?
I'm afraid they won't be coming to see you.
Why not?
There's been an accident.
Was Jason sick in the car? He gets that way sometimes.
A bad accident.
There can't have been. Father's a good driver. He's never had any accident.
It wasn't his fault. This big truck came around the bend, you see, on the wrong side of the road.
And crashed into them?
Yes. I'm afraid you won't see them again.
They're dead?
Yes.
Well, they can't be. No, they can't be. Father's a careful driver. I know. I've heard Mother say so. He wouldn't have had an accident. He couldn't have.
You've got to face it, son. Your family's dead.
No!
I'm the boy's aunt, Doctor. And as such, as his father's sister, I'm the legal guardian.
But, Miss Tessa...
Yes, well, go on. What are we going to say?
You're not married yourself, are you? You've no children? How would you know about...
About bringing up a small boy? Is that for you to discuss, Doctor? It's my duty to care for my dead brother's son.
I don't know what the orphanage people will say.
I don't care a row of pins what they say. They probably already said that I'm an eccentric old maid who lives her life in the seclusion of that crazy big old house on the hill, and that I shouldn't have charge of a canary bird, let alone a boy. Well, come on, isn't that so?
I don't see how you're going to convince them otherwise, Miss Tesser.
Are they here now, in the hospital?
And Mrs. Appleby is here, talking with Matron.
Very well. Take me to her.
Miss Tessa, it's quite out of the question.
For what reason, Mrs. Appleby?
A child will need a healthy home environment, companions of his own age, proper schooling, proper discipline.
He needs family, Mrs. Appleby. I am all he has left.
He doesn't know you.
Does he know you? There are no legal objections to my obtaining custody of my nephew.
No, but
what?
Well, you know what they say.
That I'm a crazy old spinster.
He's a very disturbed little boy.
All the more reason he should live somewhere quiet.
You're a formidable woman, Miss Tessa.
I represent security to him, Mrs. Appleby.
Oh, I don't know. I shall have to discuss it with the attorneys.
My brother's attorneys.
And the governors of the orphanage. You see, we'd already made provisions for the boy.
Then unmake them. Jeremy comes home with me. Well, Jeremy, what do you think of my house?
It's big.
Yes, you're right. My father left it to me in his will, you see. I was brought up here. It's the only home I've ever known.
Almost like a castle.
Oh, not quite so large.
But it's nice.
I'm glad you think so. And your bedroom, you like that?
It's different from my real room. My room at home.
It's next to mine. So that if I have a bad dream at night, I can call out and you'll hear.
If you?
Yes.
Do you have bad dreams sometimes?
Oh, yes, Jeremy.
I have them every night.
Well, maybe the dessert I fixed for tonight will keep them away. Do you like strawberry shortcake?
Strawberry shortcake?
If you come and help me whip the cream for it, we can have supper as soon as I fried the chicken.
Mom, are there visitors here?
No, child. Only you and me. I don't care overmuch for visitors.
They ask questions, don't they? About your folks.
Now, I can't have tears in the whipped cream. It'll make it all salty. Now, you dry your eyes and come along into the kitchen. Of course he's all right, Mrs. Appleby. Why shouldn't he be?
I'd like to see him, Miss Tessa.
That won't be possible, I'm afraid.
I have a right to.
Oh? A letter from the orphanage authorities, I suppose.
Being a district visitor, it is my duty to watch over poor children like Jeremy.
It's busy right now.
Doing what?
In the attic. Not that it's any of your business.
The attic? How unhealthy.
Aunt Tessa?
Yes, child?
I found the soldiers.
Bring them down here, then.
They're beautiful.
I don't think there's anything else for you to do here, Mrs. Appleby. I'm sure your good works keep you busy around the town. I wouldn't want to detain you. Good morning, Mrs. Appleby.
I'll be back, Miss Tessa.
Oh, take your time.
They're beautiful, Aunt Tessa.
You know what they represent, of course. The blue and the gray.
Sure, of course I do. Was there someone here?
What makes you ask?
Heard the door close. Did someone come to get me?
No one's going to get you, child. Not while I have breath in my body. I guess you want to play with the soldiers right away, don't you?
Yes, please, Mom.
And you'd like to play in the solarium with me, wouldn't you?
May I?
I guess so.
Oh, it's the most beautiful room I ever saw in my life, Aunt Tessa.
Old-fashioned. That's what folks say. Dark and musty, they say. What do I want with all those ferns and lilies in the fountain and a floor checkered with marble squares?
They don't know, do they? Shall I close the door?
Yes, child. We don't want the front doorbell disturbing us, now, do we? Now, mind where you tread, Jeremy.
Why, Mom?
There's a loose tile on this floor. I wouldn't want you hurting yourself.
A loose one?
There, right under the statue.
This time?
Don't tread on it, child. It's loose, like I said. It's taken to shifting now and then.
It's scary, Aunt Tessa.
Nonsense.
Oh, there's a shadow on it. Blacker than anything I've ever seen.
Only the statue casting its shadow.
But it looks like there's no tile there at all. Only a great blackness going down. Deep down.
Only a piece of marble, Jeremy.
The statue looks at it. And the shadow goes so deep down, you can't see where it ends.
Your poor parents were hit by a truck, boy. That's the truth.
Because I wouldn't like to think they were down there in the shadow.
They're not. Now, you set the soldiers out, and I'll fetch a piece of my new baked apple pie.
I don't think I want one, Mom.
With raisins, cinnamon.
Is it as long as that?
1 year exactly, matron.
And he's still there? With her?
Happy to, by all accounts.
Whose account? Miss Tessa's?
He's settling down just fine.
He can't be permitted to remain with her, though.
Of course he can't.
What's your objection, Mrs. Appleby?
It's not healthy.
I think she cares about the boy.
She's a crazy old spinster, Doctor. The town eccentric. Why, you've only to look at her house, all those balconies and spires, so dark and forbidding inside.
Of course. I've never visited her, but I've heard stories. Old books and carpets, dark old rooms, winding passages. It doesn't sound very nice for the boy.
I think he finds it very nice.
But he can't stay there.
Definitely not.
Why not?
It's the state's duty to care for him.
Miss Tessa's his family.
An eccentric old maid.
They said I was to come here, Doctor.
Have you been listening?
Why, yes, Jeremy, come along in. We were, just talking about you.
Yes, I know. I heard what you said. What's eccentric mean?
Whatever ails you, boy?
Nothing, Mom.
A head on crooked or something?
No.
Then what's wrong? All through supper you kept staring at me. Now, what is it? Something happened when you went into town yesterday?
Aunt Tessa, what's eccentric mean?
Who did you hear say it?
Outside the doctor's room. I didn't mean to listen, but the door was open and I couldn't help hearing.
Hearing who?
Mrs. Appleby and Matron were in there with the doctor, and they were talking.
About me?
And me as well.
Now, hand me the big dictionary, will you?
This one?
That's right. You bring it over here. Thank you. Eccentric. Yes, here it is. Irregular, odd, whimsical. Odd.
Well, there was something else. Old maid.
Look for it. Go on. Now, don't pretend to me you can't read a dictionary. Is that what they called me?
Yes.
Now, isn't that just like them?
I can't find it.
Old maid?
Oh, it's not here.
Means a spinster, an unmarried lady.
An odd, unmarried lady.
That's what they've always thought of me.
Didn't she ever have a husband, Aunt Tessa?
Nearly had one once. But he told me one day, right here, in the solarium, he told me he'd found somebody else.
Did he marry her instead of you?
Matter of fact, no, he didn't. He stepped on the... He just dropped out of sight. Now, that's enough, child. I don't want to talk about it no more.
So you've lost someone as well as me.
I guess I have, child.
Kind of helps, if you know what I mean.
I don't.
Well, makes me feel I'm not the only one. It makes me feel we're sort of together.
Is that so? Well, maybe you're right. Now, you let me get on with this knitting, child. I thought you were setting up the soldiers.
Yes, I am.
Right there, so near the statue.
Aunt Tessa, where did you get him?
My daddy brought that, all the way from Greece. Piraeus, a long while ago. Now, you bring the atlas later on, and I'll show you where that is.
Greece?
The whole thing used to scare me when I was little. The way the eyes kind of follow a person around the room.
I know. He watches me, too.
I tried to move it out once.
By yourself?
Yep.
Well, was that when your hand got hurt?
You've got sharp eyes, haven't you?
Oh, I saw your hand when I was first here. The way the one's all curled up like a bird's claw. Was that because you tried to move the statue?
Of course not. Anyways, seemed better to leave it where it is. My daddy said it was some pagan god or other. Can't rightly remember which one. And he said the place he got it from set great store by it. Said every home needs a household protector. And he's mine.
He's mine, too. When I was first here, he used to scare me. He doesn't now. He's like a friend. That's why I set the soldiers up near him, so he can watch the battle.
I thought I'd better warn you, Miss Tessa. They're on the war path again.
Why can't they mind their own business?
They reckon it is their business.
Don't they have anything better to do? Doctor, you've seen the boy. What do you think?
I think he's happy and well cared for, Miss Tessa. A different child from a year ago.
We get along well enough. When he first came, I said to myself that what I couldn't win with face and form, me not being young nor pretty, I'd get with heart and hand.
Strawberry shortcake, apple pie, fried chicken.
Children enjoy good food.
He's put on weight. He smiles. He talks.
He'll do, Doctor. It's only been a year, after all, since his folks were killed. Every day he's a mite stronger. He hasn't had a crying spell in weeks now. Soon enough, he'll be playing in the streets with all those rough town urchins and forgetting all about his poor old aunt.
Oh, I don't think he'll do that.
It's what I aim to see, Doctor. It's the way it should go. I wouldn't want to keep him tied to me, would I?
How long were you living on your own?
15 years. 15 years alone. And then to find this little ray of sunshine. And you say they're going to have another try at taking him away from me?
Looks like it. Mrs. Appleby.
Crab apple, more like.
She's worried about his schooling.
Jealous, I'd say.
That's possible.
Jealous of me. Isn't that something to smile over, Doctor? She, who's been married these 20 years with 4 children of her own, and she's jealous that an eccentric old maid like me should have a short while of happiness in life.
Well, whatever Moult is, Miss Tessa, she'll be paying you a visit soon. Better be prepared.
Well, I'm prepared, Doctor. Never fear. She won't take Jeremy from me unless he's a mind to go. And I don't think he has. Not yet a while.
I shall have to go there and talk to her.
Make her see reason.
It's not right, matron. I said it over a year ago when the poor child was orphaned. It's the state's duty, I said, to care for him.
You're quite right, Mrs. Appleby.
And the state never shirks its duty. I shall go up the hill to that awful dark old house, and I shall tell her that unless she's sensible, unless she cooperates, I'll get a court order and have the child removed from her care. Care.
Mind you, Mrs. Appleby, Jeremy didn't look unhappy last time I saw him in town.
If you saw him in town, he was probably happy to be away from her.
And there's no denying he's healthy.
Oh, what can she feed him on? What kind of strange food do you think she makes? Old witch, if you ask me.
You're quite right, of course. It's not a good environment for a young boy.
It is not. Very well, we're agreed. I'll go and talk to her. And if that doesn't work, I'll get Jeremy removed from her officially.
You, ever thought about leaving here and going away to school, Jeremy?
Away?
Well, sooner or later you'll have to.
Not yet, Aunt Tessa.
Oh, not yet, no, but when you're older.
I could come back for vacations, couldn't I? You wouldn't send me away forever.
Oh, I'd need my head examined to do that.
Well, maybe, when I'm older. If I could go someplace not too far away and come back here when there's no school.
That's a promise.
Aunt Tessa, may I bring my soldiers in here?
I think so.
Thank you.
A ray of sunshine in my life. And they want to take him away from me. I'll fight them, though. Yes. I'll not have my life destroyed again.
You don't mind me playing armies in the solarium, do you?
If I minded, you'd not be in here.
It's a good place, you see, for battles. All these ferns and things, for ambushes. And the statue watching us. Of course, I have to be very careful I don't let any soldiers step on the dark tile.
What would happen if they did?
They'd disappear, wouldn't they? They'd go deep down, where no one would ever see them again.
Child, you're imagining it. It's only a piece of black marble with a shadow cast down by the statue.
That's what you say, Aunt Tessa. But I know different. So do you, really. This time I think I'm going to have the Grey Army win.
Stuff and nonsense, child. You've read my daddy's book. That isn't how the war went. It was the North won, the Blues.
I know. That's why I'm going to do it. You see, I think, sometimes, that the weak side should have a chance to win, too.
I think that's a fine idea, Jeremy. You do it just that way. But maybe you'll pass my knitting before the first shot's fired.
Sure, Aunt Tessie. It's nice, isn't it? Just the two of us here together.
It's nice, child. Yes. Oh, drat.
Maybe it'll go away.
Oh, you answer it, will you? I'm going to start the supper cooking. If they won't go away, you bring them in here.
Oh, good afternoon, ma'am.
May I come in, Jeremy?
Well, If you want.
Thank you. And where is your aunt?
She's busy, Mrs. Appleby.
Not too busy to see me, I hope.
Well, you better come into the solarium.
Solarium?
Mrs. Crabapple.
Appleby. Miss Tesser, there is something that you and I have to discuss. Alone.
I know what you've come for. I've been expecting you.
Send the boy away so we can talk, will you?
It's him you've come to talk about. He's a right to hear, so speak your piece or get out of my house. Jeremy, you stay right there.
Yes, Aunt Tessie.
I'll come straight to the point. It's high time this poor child was removed from this house and sent to a proper environment.
Oh?
You've been a stubborn old woman long enough, Miss Tessa.
Do you see anything wrong with the child?
No, but...
Undernourished, pale, unhappy?
No, but...
Sick, maybe. Miserable. Unhealthy.
If you won't cooperate, I'm going to get a court order. Oh, be reasonable. Surely you realize this is no fit atmosphere for a young child.
You want me to give him up?
Of course.
Aunt Tessa? She wants to take me away?
Yes, child, she does, but don't you fret. I won't allow it.
You're being very obstinate.
I fought you once, and I'll fight you again.
You keep away from me.
Aunt Tessa, tell her to watch out. Tell her to watch where she's stepping.
I wouldn't let a meddling fool like you touch one hair on the boy's head.
Very well. If that's the way you insist on having it, I'll be here with the court order first thing in the morning. You get the boy ready to leave with me and the sheriff.
The tile! Aunt Tessa!
He's not going anywhere, Mrs. Appleby.
Miss Tessa, keep away from me. Keep away.
She's gone! Aunt Tessa, she's gone!
Of course she has.
She's down there. She's down in the deep darkness. The shadows followed her up. I saw her go.
Nonsense, child. I saw her out of the door.
She didn't. 1 second she was there, and the next she's gone into the blackness.
Sheriff, all those fancies. It's only a black marble tile. Feel it. Touch it. Well, come on. It won't hurt you. It won't hurt you.
But I saw.
Now, supper. Broiled steak, don't you think? With my homemade ice cream for dessert. Come along and give me a hand, Jeremy.
She went out of the door?
Of course.
I didn't see her go.
You had your hand so tight over your eyes you couldn't see anything.
So she didn't step on the black tile? Well, it wasn't anything to do with the statue?
Did you think it was?
You said every home needs a protector.
Well, this home's got 3, hasn't it? You, me, and him.
Aunt Tessa, can I become eccentric too? I'd very much like to. I can stay?
As long as you care to, Jeremy.
Time, the silent herald of life and death, success or failure, the unseen force that measures man's destiny, reaching its most fateful moment as it slowly strikes the 11th hour.
Oh, listen to them, Katie Donald. Did you ever hear a happier sound in all creation?
And why shouldn't they be happy, Father Donald?
Aye, it's not every day that such a blessed marriage comes on the islands.
Blessed marriage.
It is that.
Aye, I know. He's a good boy, my Tomas.
And Eileen will match his goodness. Kate Donald, it's not an inquisitive man I am, but would you tell me why your face just went dark like a cloud going over?
Oh, 'tis nothing, good father.
It's Paddy you're thinking of.
Father Donahue, sometimes I don't understand the ways of the good Lord. Tomas and Paddy, both of them born to me on the same cold winter's night, both of them the same flesh and blood out of me, and yet Tomas as good as an angel, and Paddy evil from the moment he took his first breath of God's good air.
Now, Katie. Your son Tomas, he's repaid you for all your trouble. A good boy. And now the prettiest girl in all the Blaskets waiting to be his bride as soon as the sun starts setting. Oh, I tell you...
Tomas, my boy.
Well, and what are the two you're holding a secret meeting about?
We've been talking about the prettiest girl in the island.
You mean she's the prettiest girl in all the world, aye, Mother?
I'm so happy for you, my son.
I know, darling. See, it's getting too late. I wonder where Paddy can be.
It'd be a better wedding without him.
Now, Kate Donald, don't. Paddy may be there. Oh, well, I think I'll go out and listen to the fiddling. See you when the sun is setting tomorrow.
Aye! And the sooner the better, Father. It's an impatient man I am. Ah, the good Father. A marriage blessed with his tongue is a marriage that... Mother, what is it?
You know the answer.
Paddy?
Aye.
Oh, he'll get to my wedding.
I'm praying he won't.
Now, Mother, don't say things like that. After all, he's your son and my brother.
Sorrow on my heart. Drinking and brawling and...
Paddy, you did come!
Oh, speak of the devil.
Why shouldn't I be here? Is it only strangers that are welcome at your wedding?
Oh, no, Paddy, that's not the way to talk. There's food and drink in this house today for every man, and a double helping for you, and you know it.
Oh, is there? I've more important things to do than filling my belly. Listen to me, Brother Tomas. Is your head that full of weddings that you can't hear a chance of making us all richer than a Yankee?
What do you mean?
Aye, speak up, Paddy. What devilment are you up to now?
Devilment nothing. It's honest money I'm talking of. And may the next pipes and tobacco be at me own wake if I'm not telling you the truth.
We're listening.
Well, do you remember that hulk of a ship that was wrecked off Innisnabro a while ago? I went there yesterday to see if there was anything worth having, and... Oh, listen to me, brother. There, in the bottom of a pool, no deeper than this room, is lying enough bolts of copper and brass to make you and me the richest men in the islands.
What?
Don't listen to him, Tomas.
Wait a minute, Mother. Where did you say this fortune was lying, Paddy?
8 feet of water, right off the place where you caught that seal last year. Oh, Tomas, I tell you, it's the chance of our lifetime. There's more than 500 pieces of copper and brass there. And they're worth £1 apiece as sure as I'm standing here. Well, haven't you got something to say to me?
But my wedding.
Oh, you talk like you're cracked. Wouldn't you rather bring the bride a pocketbook filled with gold sovereigns than the empty leather you've got now? Wouldn't you rather be able to give her a bit of meat in the house and a little dress for the prettiness of her than the empty words you can give her now?
But, Paddy...
Now, wishing a mother, you talk to the man. A king's fortune right under his hand, and the cracked fool won't bend down to pick it up.
Tomas.
Aye?
It would be nice to have a bit of money in the house.
Aye.
Then what are we waiting for?
What do you think, Mother?
I fancy Eileen will wait 3 hours for you.
Now you're talking words that mean something. Come on, Tomas. 3 hours and I'll have you richer than...
Oh, it's Eileen. Let her have the word whether you stay or go.
Stay or go where, Mother Donald? What's going on, Tomas?
Well, you see, Eileen, Paddy here says that he thinks that...
the day's short. Let me see it. There's a fortune in brass and copper boats waiting for us in water no deeper than a man's neck off Innisnabro. And Tomas here thinks you'd be fool enough to say no to his going.
But must he go now?
We'll be back in 3 hours, Eileen.
And the sea's as calm as a place at sea. Just think, Eileen. You'd have a dress for every day of the week.
Tomas, do you want to go?
We could build a new house with the money.
Sure, the finest house O'Donnell ever had. Come on. We can take the side path down to the cliff and be off out to sea, and none of them out there the wiser till we get back. Your boat will hold.
Wait, brother. Eileen, is it your wish?
I'd be a poor wife to you, Tomas, if I stood in your way of making a living, even before our marriage.
My darling.
There'll be time enough for that stuff when we get back. Come on, Tomas. Let's get out there.
Hurry back to me, Tomas, my dearest.
The sea will take me to our good fortune, and the sea will bring me back.
Out this way, Thomas. Hurry.
I'm coming.
Unto the wind, darling.
God go with you.
Thomas!
Yes, yes.
Oh, Eileen. Oh, little baby, why should you cry? Tomas has plowed the sea so many times. Why should you cry this time?
Oh, Mother Donald. I'm frightened.
Frightened? But why that?
I don't know. When that door closed behind him, it seemed as if the waters of the sea were closing over him. And oh, Mother Donald, hold me close. I'm so afraid.
Eileen, baby, come away from the water.
No!
4 hours you've been sitting here. What good is it?
He said he'd come right back.
I know, but sitting here staring out at the water won't speed their way. Come back.
But he said he'd be right back.
Eileen, child, come.
Here the two of you are. Check you, Donald. Answer me this. The sun's almost set, but where is Tomas, Donald?
He and Paddy, they went to fetch a special present for Eileen. They'll be back, Father Donahue. Oh, please tell our good neighbours to drink and dance for a bit longer. Please.
All right. I'll ask no more questions. I'll tell them.
I'll never see Tomas again.
Have you lost your head? Look, the sea is smooth and the sky is clear. Of what misfortune can come on a day like this?
I'll never see Tomas again.
Stop saying that, girl. It's tempting the devil to do his evil work. Come on.
Come where?
We climb to the top of the cliff so our eyes can see far out to the water. Come, we'll see them coming in.
The sea! Look at it, Mother Donald. Empty. Oh, Tomas, Tomas.
Stop it, Carol. Nothing's happened to them. It's taken them longer than they thought. I told you that before. Ah, there's not a pin's worth wrong with them. There can't be, I tell you.
Mother Donald.
What?
To the west, where they went. The water.
Holy Mother! That wind! Where did it come from?
Out of the west, where he was.
But so quick. In all my years, the wind's never come up so quick before.
The water! Look at it swirling and tossing before the wind. He's dead. My Tomas, dead. Dead! Dead! Tomas, dead!
No! Stop saying that! He's not dead, my Tomas. Not dead. Come in, good neighbor. Is there any blessed word of my son?
The Holy Mary have pity. None, Katie. They've been burning fires on top of the cliff all through the night, but there's naught to be seen but the tempest and the smothering waves.
Oh, my sons. My sons.
The little bride, where is she?
Oh, sleeping at last. Oh, what have I done that misfortune should strike me?
What are you doing?
What?
A boat! A boat! A boat to the west!
My son?
Yes, come on.
Dead?
Don't! No, the boat's coming, and there's living hands on the oars. Come on. They're trying to get in the land. Come on, hurry!
Oh, look! All the people!
Aye, the word is spread. Can you see anything, Eileen?
No, there's so many on the beach. Oh, why don't they stand aside?
Oh, good neighbors, let us through. My son!
Yes, let us through.
It's the widow Donald.
Stand
Stand aside.
Come on, stand here now.
Oh, I can see nothing. The waves on the dark island to you.
Oh, yes. Yes, Mother Donna, I see them, I see.
Where? Point it out to be careful. Where?
Look, over there. Follow my finger. Oh, blessed Mary, they're coming back.
Yes, I see the boat. Oh, blessed boat.
Oh, those waves, they'll swamp the boat. Oh, will somebody do something to help them? No, they're all right.
Sure they're all right.
They're sailing over the water.
They're getting in now, look.
Oh, Eileen, if only my eyes were young and sharp again. Can you see them both? Both, my son?
No, I can't quite. Just the boat, it lifts and falls at the top of the waves so quickly I can't... Ah!
Eileen, what is it? What?
One. There's only one in the boat.
No. What are you saying?
There's right. There's one in the boat.
Which one is it?
I can't make it out.
Is it Tomás or
Come on, into the surf and give my hand now.
Get back, please. Oh, Mother, come. Mother Donna, are you hurt? Are you all right?
I'm all right. But my son, where?
Look at that way. They brought the boat right in, look.
The boat's in. Come on.
Come on now.
The boat.
Stand this right there. Let the wind and the dog come through now.
Yes, let him through. It's the mother of
Come on,
the
one right
bride.
there now. Come on.
Come on.
Well, I'm back, Mother.
Paddy.
She's been to get water.
Now, stand back. Walk over here now. Come on.
You. Paddy.
Yes, it's me. Haven't I got a right to live?
Tell me quick. Where is my son, Tomás? Tell me, Paddy, where is my Tomás?
Where do you think he is, old woman? Dead. At the bottom of the sea.
Stand closer about me, good neighbors. Get to be quiet. No weeping until the services for our dear departed are over. It is right that we should stand here on the cliff to say the last words for the soul of the one whom the sea has taken to the Lord. This bare ground is our cathedral, for 'tis spoken in truth, as you know, that once on this place there rose a mighty church of God, built by the hands of a strange race of men that lived on these islands before our fathers and their fathers' fathers. A mighty cathedral, and one night these people committed a horrible sin, and the sea rose high as this cliff and covered the church and threw it down into the sea. You know the legend well. There is a cathedral under the sea at the base of this place where we stand. And if a great wrong is to be done on these islands, the bells under the water ring and ring until men cannot bear the sound of it, and the very heavens tremble with the glory of God and the glory of righteousness. So I say that if there was a wrong done on the sea to Tomás Donner, I know in my heart that the bells would ring. Yet they are silent. So we know that Tomás Donner died in righteousness. And now I take this wreath of sweet-smelling ferns and throw it to the waters of the Tomás Donner's grave. Blessed are they that mourn thee, for they shall be comforted.
But I ask you now, if it was an accident, how did Paddy live if Tomás died?
Who can tell the ways of the sea?
Would a man kill his brother for a handful of copper?
I tell you, no. And she heard what the good father said. If there was evil done in the sea, the bells under the sea would ring, as my father told me it would and his father before him. But there was no sound, so there was no evil done. So keep your peace and mourn the dead.
Poor little Eileen.
But she's young. Young tears go quickly. She'll forget soon enough. Soon enough.
Well, so you like the tale I've told you?
Oh, Paddy, you've a tongue in you for tall stories.
There's some I could tell you that would be told with my heart.
Oh, no, Paddy.
Give me a hand, Eileen.
You took it. Why ask?
I want more.
No.
All these months, I've closed the mouth of me to keep from saying it. I want you, Eileen.
Oh, Paddy, how can you say it?
Why not? Why not?
Moss, your brother.
But he wanted me to have you.
What?
Yes, he did. You've heard me tell the story. The boat turned over. He was drowning. I tried to save him.
Yes.
Before he went under, he cried out, Eileen, take care of her.
Oh.
So marry me, Eileen. Tomas wanted that for you. I swear it. Marry me. Marry me. Marry me. Marry me.
Yes. Yes. Oh, Mother Donald, why did you sit here apart from all the rest and weep?
Why, I'm not weeping, Gerald.
Oh, for weeks you've been so sad. Can't you find a little joy in your heart for this day of my marriage to your own son?
My son?
I don't love him as I did dear Tomas. God rest his soul. But you know Tomas's dying words, and I'm so lonely, Mother. Sometimes I think, oh, Mother Donald, don't make it hard for me. All these weeks.
Dead in the sea.
Oh, no, don't talk of him. Oh, Mother Donald, why must you take the little joy out of this wedding day?
Oh, there's no wedding for him in the sea.
Stop saying that. He wanted me to be with Paddy. He did. Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't.
Eileen, we're waiting.
Oh, let me be.
It's talking to the old woman again, eh? What's she been saying to you?
Oh, let her be.
Shut your mouth, you old crook. I'm sick of you trying to stop my wedding with your weeping and wailing. Well, I'm your son, too. And it's married I'm getting this day. I'm marrying Eileen. Aye, not even an hour from now, but now. So if it's a wedding of your son you want to see, come down to the shore with my friends and the priest is waiting. A wedding, you hear me, Mother? And neither you, nor heaven, nor hell can stop me. All right, Father Donahue. It's ready I am to be made a man with a wife.
Your mother, lad. Where is she?
Mother, she's here, there, someplace, telling her neighbors how happy she is.
Is she now?
Is it a sin to want to marry and have a woman for a proper wife, Father Donahue?
No.
Then marry us now. Eileen.
Yes, Paddy.
We're ready now. Come close, neighbors.
Wait! Who cried out? Who was it?
It's the Mother Donald. It's Katie Donald.
Katie Donald. What is it?
Trying to stop my wedding, she is. Well, you won't. You won't.
Listen.
Listen to what? To what?
Listen.
There's nothing to hear, Father Donahue. Come away, read the wedding service.
Listen.
Holy Mother of God.
Father Donahue, why did you say that? What's the matter with you? Why do you stand there with your jaw hanging? Eileen, you two standing there, answer me. What's the matter with you?
I hear it.
Hear what? What, have you gone daft, all of you? Why are you standing so still? What are you up to?
All of them here, but you.
Hear what? Answer me, someone. What are you hearing? What?
Out to the sea.
To the sea? You're crazy, all of you.
On your knees, my children.
On your knees? Why are you praying? Someone tell me, what are you listening to?
All of them here, but you.
Hear what? What? Answer me, answer! Stop it. Stop looking like that as if you're hearing something. There's nothing to hear, nothing but the wind. Answer me, someone. What are you listening to? Whatever it is, I can't hear it. I can't. It's not deaf I am. I hear my voice. Father Donahue, tell me, what are you hearing?
From out to the sea.
What?
A great sin has been done by one of us. But the old men said it was true. A great sin done, and out of the sea will come a great voice. and the heavens will tremble.
Stop talking, my wedding!
There can be no wedding. A great sin has been done. Listen and pray.
Pray? I don't know what praying. Why should I pray? Get to your feet and leave my wedding. You're crazy, all of you. There's nothing here. There's nothing. Wait. I do hear. Something from the sea. A voice. His voice. His voice.
Someone call it. Out of the sea.
Quiet! Everyone quiet! So we can hear.
His voice.
Look, the boat's coming through the fog.
It can't be Tomas.
I'm coming to you!
There's a boat coming through the fog.
Can't be Tomas, Johnny!
No, he's dead. He's dead.
Okay,
Yes, you're dead, Tomas. Dead. Go back to the dead. I killed you. No, you won't get me, dead thing. No, I'll get away. I'll run.
Oh, Mother! Oh, my Tomas, come back! Eileen, my dearest!
Tomas!
And you, Father Donahue?
Have the gators.
Oh, no, I'm flesh and blood, good Father. He left me for dead in the sea. That devil I call a brother. Oh, I knew it. But a trawler fished me out and shook the water out of me before the heart of me stopped.
Oh, my Tomas.
They took me to the mainland. I had no money. It took me all this time to get back. The fog was so thick out there. My boat, I almost ran it on the rocks till I heard the bell. Oh, the bell.
Oh, blessed bells.
Oh, tell me, what were those bells? It guided me in here. Strange bells. There are no such bells on the islands. Why did you look at me like that? Father, you tell me. What were those bells?
'Tis said, there is a cathedral under the sea at this place where we stand. And if a great wrong is to be done on these islands, the bells under the water ring and ring until men cannot bear the sound of it, and the very heavens tremble with the glory of God and the glory of righteousness.
The silent herald of life and death, success or failure, the unseen force that measures man's destiny, reaching its most fateful moment as it slowly strikes the 11th hour. Time, the silent herald of life and death, success or failure, the unseen force that measures man's destiny, reaching its most fateful moment as it slowly strikes the 11th hour.
Good evening, Senora. Could I assist you?
The name is Fielding. Hugh Fielding.
Yes, Senor, yes. Your room, it is booked. Number 49, the page will take you.
Thank you.
Before you go to your room, will you see the gentleman, yes?
Gentleman? What gentleman?
The Englishman. He's been waiting since 10 o'clock.
To see me?
Oh, si, signore. He asked you by name. Then he say he'll wait.
But no one knows I've booked him here at the Hotel Antara. Not a soul.
Ah, but there you make a mistake, signor. This gentleman, he did. He's sitting over near the...
Oh, well?
He's gone, signora. He must have left. He was tired, perhaps, of waiting. It's been a long time.
I don't think he could have been waiting for me. Not really. Still, if he comes back, send him up to my room, will you?
Si, signor. Oh, one moment. This letter, I find it here, lying on the counter, addressed to you, Hugh Fielding.
Thank you.
That must be from the gentleman explaining. You know him, signor?
Yes. Yes, that's right, I do. Where's the telephone?
To the left, signor, near the Palms.
Oh, thank you.
Unexpected news is sometimes good news, signor. You did not think that you knew this gentleman? Now you do.
I certainly know him, yes. But I'll have to wait and find out whether it is good news. Rex, is that you?
You? So you've got in at last. I've been waiting for you all day.
But how the devil did you know I was arriving in Palermo? And what are you doing here, anyway?
Can't tell you over the telephone. Come round and see me.
But, Rex, I've just got in. Been travelling the past 24 hours.
You, come and see me. You must. Now. Now, don't delay a moment. This is something big.
Something big? What on earth are you talking about?
Believe me, Hugh, when I say this is a matter of life and death.
What?
Come, I can't talk any longer.
Oh, all right. But where are you?
Carducci Tarraco, number 14. Got that?
Carducci Tarraco, number 14. Right, I'll come now.
Before you do, you'll find a parcel under the mattress in your room. Bring it.
A parcel? Under the mattress in my room here?
Yes, I put it there today. Bring it. But don't let anyone see.
But what's in it?
A story that is going to knock the world sideways. So guard that parcel with your life.
Carducci Tarraco, number 12. Ah, here it is, 14. Oh, the place seems deserted. Well, the door's open. No one about, though.
Hugh, come in, quick.
Oh, Rex, for heaven's sake, what's up?
I'll just shut this door. Lock it, too. Ah, that's it.
Well, what's all this about? And must we stand around in the dark? Where's the light switch?
No. Come into this room. There we are. Did you bring it?
The parcel? Yes, here it is.
Oh, what a relief. Hasn't been tampered with either.
But I don't make a habit of opening other people's parcels, Rex.
No. I wasn't thinking of you. It's them. They couldn't have followed me. I thought they might have.
Now, look. Will you stop acting like someone out of the Three Musketeers and tell me what all this is about? How did you know I was here?
I knew you were touring these parts, and I wired Brenda. She told me.
Oh.
I've been following you around for the past week, but I've missed you each time.
Following me? For heaven's sake, why?
I need help desperately. I mean it, Hugh. When I show you this shoulder of mine, perhaps you'll believe me. There.
Great Scott! But what happened? An accident?
Knife wound.
What? But what does all this mean? You, a knife wound? It's unbelievable. Great heavens, the last time I saw you, and it's not 3 weeks ago, you were sitting in that prosperous office of yours. Rex Chester, managing editor of the Kaleidoscope, the weekly magazine for people.
That was 3 weeks ago, Hugh. Now you find me scared stiff. I mean it, scared stiff. It isn't pleasant to expect to die at any moment.
But who wants to kill you and why? Is it something to do with this parcel?
Yes. This parcel arrived for me. I opened it. This is what I found.
A tape recorder reel?
That's right. I'll play it for you, Hugh. I have a small machine over here. Now, listen.
The editor, Kaleidoscope magazine. Sir, your story about the scientist who sold vital secrets to a foreign power is in fact true. This has happened. Proof follows. A recording of an interview I overheard.
So you've ever come?
Yes.
You have it?
Here it is. Be careful of the light, it may discolor.
Not very clear.
As you don't understand them, I fail to see how you can express an opinion.
Although I cannot call myself an eminent scientist, Spencer, I do happen to know a little. And this is not clear. Look, blurred.
I'll have it back, Dad. Give it to me.
No, I'll forward them.
And the other?
It will be arranged. You will be contacted.
When?
Soon, very soon.
I hope it won't be at the laboratory. Questions may be asked. They're suspicious of foreigners. Tighten things up.
Nothing will be done to arouse a suspicion. You need have no fear, Spencer. Just to wait for Resendi, that's all.
Resendi? Who's that?
You'll learn, my friend. You'll learn all in a good time.
Rex, what's happened?
That's all there is. The rest is blank. Well, Hugh, what do you make of it?
A joke, of course. Someone pulling your leg.
Think so? I don't. Know who Spencer is?
Yes, a scientist. Must be old Sir Percival Spencer. Got some award the other day for his services in the field of nuclear research.
That's right.
But that couldn't have been him, Rex. I mean, he's a respectable old fellow, well thought of.
I know all that. I've dug out his personal file. I know his whole background. But this is Sir Percival Spencer.
And proof? What proof have you got to support that? What proof is there that this recording here isn't a hoax?
Read the newspapers recently, Hugh?
Well, no. No, as a matter of fact, I haven't. Why?
Take a look at this. What do you think of those headlines,
Great Scott. Eminent British scientist missing from his home.
Well, go on, read some more. Tells you all about Sir Percival Spencer.
Well, what's the date of this paper? 12th of September.
Day before yesterday.
And this parcel?
Posted 6 months ago from this city. See the stamp?
Any idea who sent it to you?
None. I can't trace a thing.
And these people who were responsible for knifing you? Know them?
No. Walking home last week, they dropped me in the Tarraco outside.
So it could have been attempted robbery, then? You're only presuming that they are interested in the tape?
Only presuming.
I see.
Well, Hugh, what do you think about all this now? Still think that recording is a hoax?
No, I don't. I think there might be a great deal in it, a great deal. In fact, I'm inclined to agree with you. This whole story is going to knock the whole world sideways.
You'll come in with me, then?
Come in with you?
Yes, I'm going to find who this Resendi really is they talked about in that recording. And I'm not going to rest until I have. Will you come with me, Hugh? Are you interested?
Well, yes, naturally I'm interested, but...
But?
Well, it all sounds so fantastic, so improbable. You receive a scrap of a recording. Oh, no, Rex, no, let's be sane about this. Now, hand that over to the police and let them get on with it.
Think of the story it will make. Just think, exclusive
I
rights.
much prefer creating imaginary situations than handling dynamite. So forget it as far as I'm concerned. Forget it. I was never a fellow who enjoyed cloak and dagger stuff.
Oh, that's final.
Final. I'm sorry, Rex, but cut me out and take a bit of advice. Forget it yourself.
Sorry, I'm going on. Just think what this could
That's
mean.
That's exactly what I am doing. A salt mine in Siberia, or thumb screws in some unpronounceable village. No, thank you, not for me. I hate salt and I enjoy my thumbs. So let's change the subject. I think I'll get back to the hotel and we'll just...
Shh! What the quiet?
For heaven's sake, what now?
Heard something. Did you hear?
A door opening?
Yes. I locked it, you saw me. Someone is out there.
Yes, obviously. A nice thought.
I'm going to have a look. This will fix them.
A gun? Now, for Pete's sake, Rex, watch out. You can't go shooting people.
This mob you can. Let's go.
Oh, not a thing. All imagination. Sure, my...
You at the end of the passage. Stop or I'll fire. He's through the window. Hugh, this way, through here. Gone.
And I don't know which way either. He could be down there or across that square. It's impossible to find him.
Yes. Let's get back to the room. I'd give my eye teeth to know who he was and what he was wanting.
Well, perhaps he was a burglar.
You don't really think that, do you?
Why not? He acted like one. Picked the door lock, crept down the passage, jumped through the window. It all adds up.
It all balances out too well to be a coincidence. Oh, but let's forget it, shall we? You aren't interested in this business, so that's that.
Oh, I'm interested enough, but... What the dickens?
Revolver shot. And from my house. Come on, Hugh, quickly. Let's go through this door. It's quicker.
Now, wait a minute. Not too fast, Rex. Do you notice something? We left the light burning.
Yes, it's off. Hear that?
It's someone groaning. Here, let me strike a match. Well, I'm... Look. Look over there. Do you see? In the corner.
Poor chap. Switch on that light, Hugh.
I can't. The glow's been shattered. Here, I've got this torch. That's it.
I'm afraid there's nothing we can do for him. Wonder if he's got anything in his pockets. No. Wait a minute, what's this? An empty envelope. Addressed to Y.V. Muller. That's all.
Y.V. Muller. He's that scientist, remember? He disappeared a year or so ago. He worked in the States, and rumor had it that he'd gone over to the other side.
It fits in with the Spencer story.
We'd better report this to the police.
Take a tip from an old hand, Hugh. Keep quiet about this. It could lead to devilish complications.
We can't leave this poor fellow lying here.
We can't help him.
But Rex...
Hugh, the two of us are in big trouble. Don't let's add to it. Now, come on, let's get out of here.
This whole wretched business seems crazy to me.
Maybe.
Well, where do we go now?
As far away from here as possible. Now, come on, let's get moving. It's a relief to get out of all that. No one seems to have seen us.
I still don't figure out what it's all about.
In a game like this, Hugh, you've got to take each step nice and slowly, and it will work out. If you're lucky.
Do you wish to buy the violets, Signor? See?
No, thank you.
They are very valuable blooms, Signor.
Oh?
They are magnificent. It would be worth your while to buy.
Who are you?
Krasicki, flower seller, at your service. Always at your service.
These are valuable blooms that you speak of. How much are they?
30,000 lira.
That's a great deal of money.
They are worth it, Signor.
All right, then. But before a man buys violets, he must make certain that other sellers haven't better blooms.
You are smart, Signor. Si, very smart.
We must see these violets of yours first.
I recommend this bunch, Signor. You see the stems there? This paper tied here is the address of someone who knows much.
Much about what?
Signor, this is not the time for questions. You know and I know, and I cannot talk much longer. Now give me the money.
What do you say, Hugh?
Well, he seems genuine enough. I'd hand over.
Right. There's the money. And it's a great deal. You're lucky I'm carrying this much.
You must phone at this number here and say you wish to speak about silver.
You wish to speak about the silver?
Si, about the silver. Now I go. I speak too much. They must not see. And do not say that Krasicki told you.
Well, but what do you make of that lot?
I'm just getting more and more confused. But come on, let's phone that number he gave us and... Rex?
Yes?
Have you still got that gun with you?
As a matter of fact, I have.
Good. The way things are going, I've got a feeling that we'll be needing it. And soon. Seven, 1, 6.
Yes.
Good evening. I'm interested in silver.
Oh, it is late. I do not have visitors after 9 o'clock.
I see. Well, I'm a visitor and I haven't very much time.
English?
Yes.
I will make an exception in this case. You may come.
And your address?
15 Carducci Gardens.
Right. I'll be there within the hour.
Oh, and one thing. What did you say your name was?
Hugh Fielding.
Very English. When you arrive at my apartment, ring the bell twice and enter.
Thank you. Well, Rex, the plot thickens. I'm willing to take a bet that this lady with a mysterious voice is going to be dynamite to handle.
Things are getting more and more interesting.
I'd call them more dangerous. Now, come on, let's find out what this is all about. Well, here it is. Number 15.
I'll stand on guard out here in the shadows.
She said ring twice and then enter. Here goes.
Come in, Mr. Fielding.
Oh, good evening.
You may sit here.
Thank you.
So, you are interested in silver, Mr. Fielding?
Oh, yes, that's right. Very interested. It's only a hobby, of course, and when I heard of your collection, I thought I'd like to see it.
And who told you about it?
A mutual friend.
Of course, a friend. I have many lovely pieces.
Yes, you certainly have. This server here is magnificent.
It is early 14th century. These two vases over here were used by Louis XIV. And this here is the pride of my collection.
Oh, what's that?
Don't you know?
No.
I would have imagined, Mr. Fielding, that someone as interested in silver as you are would recognize a trinket box when they saw one.
Yes, it's difficult to see in this light.
This box was caused the death of 5 men. When you lift the lid, so... Charming tune, is it not?
Yes, there are these 5 men. Tell me about them.
You are not really interested, Mr. Fielding. It is obvious to me that you are wasting my time. Good night.
But I am interested. Desperately.
Good night, Mr. Fielding. And would you take the word of advice? Leave a game like this to professionals. An amateur has no hope whatsoever of survival. He's gone.
Yes, I'm watching him. Justin is waiting over there in the shadows.
What shall we do? Give orders to...
My dear Anna, for a lovely woman, you are remarkably bloodthirsty. They know nothing.
You cannot be sure. That man Fielding is no fool.
Mullah was eradicated before he spoke.
What of that recording he handed over? If they suspect that Spencer is alive...
They won't. The recording itself is of no real value. All the leads have been destroyed.
Someone told Fielding my telephone number. He was told to inquire about silver. If he hadn't given the password, I would never have agreed to see him.
It's so well you did. Now we know the type of man he is. We have his measure.
I am not happy about this at all. They are getting too close. What if they should find Spencer?
If they do, my dear Anna, how truly unfortunate for them it will be. Now, come, we can't have this fear and a doubt.
I am going aboard the Rakabitis. I feel safer there.
You do that, my dear. Perhaps I will join you. Yes, let's both go aboard, as you so rightly say. They could never trace us there.
I think we should hand this whole business over to the police, Rex.
We can offer them no tangible evidence, that's the thing. Only a recording which could be phony. There's nothing. I would say that the beautiful Countess is well known hereabouts. I dare say she's considered respectable, honest, and a good citizen.
Yes, that's true, of course.
We are the foreigners, and therefore the doubtful characters. Then there's another...
Could I interest you in violets, senor?
What? Oh, it's you again. Now, look, my friend, I think we should have a talk, don't you?
There is the danger if we talk. Take this violets and listen. At the harbor, there is a yacht, the Rakabitis.
Rakabitis, yes, I know. It's owned by the millionaire, Russendi, isn't it?
You know him?
Of him. He's a man of mystery.
It is on this yacht that you will find plenty to interest you.
Such as?
Spencer?
What?
Now, I have spoken enough. Take this violets and go. And thank you for buying, senor. You are most kind. Violets, fresh violets. Violets.
What did you make of him?
He could be genuine enough. Our next lead is the Rakabitis. Let's go down to the docks and see if she's really in. You can't see much in this rotten fog.
And the night watchman said the Rakabitis was berthed over here.
There she is.
Great Scott, what a splendid vessel. Just look at that line, Rex. It must have cost a fortune.
Our friend has got the money to afford the best.
How did he make it?
That's a mystery as well. Rumor has it he struck it rich with oil, but you can't really nail it down to anything. A millionaire, and there's an end of it.
Ever met him?
No. Oddly enough, you can't find a photograph of him either. It's an eccentricity of his. He hates photographers.
It's getting more and more intriguing.
A car's coming. Stand back in this doorway. Did you manage to see inside?
No.
It's going to the yacht. Someone is obviously being expected.
Great Scott, look who's getting out of that car. Do you see? The Countess.
And she's with someone, too. They're going aboard together.
Good evening, gentlemen. I have been expecting you. Would you kindly raise your hands and walk aboard the yacht that interests you so greatly?
Now, see...
Do as I say.
But I assure you we were admiring the yacht, that's all. My friend here is a keen seaman.
You can examine the yacht at first hand if you go aboard. Quickly now.
Oh, all right.
It's so sensible of you crew to cooperate. You'll find an old friend on board. You should enjoy renewing your friendship.
Good evening.
Why, Countess, this is a wonderful surprise.
What are you doing here?
We were admiring the yacht, and this gentleman kindly suggested we come aboard.
Mr. Fielding, I regret your curiosity. It has involved you now in a great danger.
Oh?
You are in the unfortunate position of having stumbled on too much. And when men know too much, there is only one thing for it. A pity. A great pity.
But I assure you
Matteo, You can take them below.
Shall I put them with our friend?
Why not? They will be company for each other. A good idea.
Now, look, Countess, if anything happens to us, you'll have the police on your trail.
Police? My dear Mr. Fielding, I am not afraid of them. We will be pulling out of here within the hour, and once we are well out to sea, I think you understand, see?
We understand. See.
Take them away, Mateo. We will attend to them later.
Quickly now.
Now, there's no need to push, old fellow.
Preserve your companion, but I doubt he will talk intelligently.
That's Spencer. I recognize him.
The voice on the tape. Wait a minute. Mateo. The man he was talking to. Remember the name? Mateo.
Now, Spencer seems drugged.
On the contrary, Spencer is not drugged.
What?
Shh. I don't know who the devil you are, but your arrival is providential. Another 50 minutes and I should have been pushed through that porthole dead.
We had a tape recording of your voice.
Yes, I know. Muller handed it over to you, and these devils got him. Look, I came to Palermo to drag these fellows to a net. I acted as decoy for security.
I see.
They put out the story that I'd gone to the other side to cover up.
We've got to get out of here before the yacht sails.
But Terry's sure to be back. When he comes, I think the three of us should account for him satisfactorily. Now, this is what we'll do.
The Contessa said, share a bottle of wine with her. Wine in the glasses.
Look, let's forget the smart talk, shall we? Spencer is really very ill. He needs a doctor.
Soon it will be over.
I'm warning you, he will die any moment.
It is a harmless drug, keeping him relaxed and quiet.
Come over here and have a look at him.
I tell you, this is the first bottle nothing, and...
Now, quick now. Oh, that's attended to him.
Quickly, gentlemen, grab his gun and follow me. This way. Oh, Countess and Mr. Assembly.
Spice.
Stay where you are. I'm armed and have every justification to use this weapon.
You were unconscious.
I was, thanks to your drug, but it wore off some time ago. The rest was an act. You know I have quite a score to settle with you. You've been very nasty.
I don't think you will be welcome back in your country, Spencer. After all, you did sell us valuable information, did you not?
I was instructed to do so.
Instructed?
I think the word is, Resende, planted. Security suspected you and wanted evidence. But you were smarter than we thought. And then these gentlemen arrived at the 11th hour. Now, come on, we'll have a talk to Pirandello at the local police, and he should be interested to hear my story.
No one will ever believe.
In the light of the evidence I have to offer, Resende, they have no alternative but to believe. You face quite a charge, don't you? Which includes murder. Now, come on, get moving, the two of you, and don't try anything clever. This gun is right behind you. Well, that is the story, gentlemen, and I'm grateful to you.
Well, it's been quite a game. I came here for a nice, relaxed holiday.
And one thing led to another.
Yes, it most certainly did.
Violets? Would you gentlemen like violets?
Now, wait a minute.
You again?
Me again?
English?
That's right. Here's your 30,000 lira. Ah, pity. You see, alone I couldn't handle it. They knew me too well.
Krasicki is one of our men.
Great Scott. I would never have believed it.
The silent herald of life and death, success or failure, the unseen force that measures man's destiny, reaching its most fateful moment as it slowly strikes the 11th hour. Time, the silent herald of life and death, success or failure. The unseen force that measures man's destiny, reaching its most fateful moment as it slowly strikes the 11th hour.
Derry Morton here.
Derry, it's Angus. I want to see you, my boy. I want to see you soon. Come round now.
But, Angus, I've got work.
Forget the work, Derry. This is more important.
But what's it about?
I can't talk over the telephone.
Look, Angus, I can't leave the shop yet.
Derry,
anyway,
boy, I'm telling you to leave the shop and come round and see me. I'm at the usual place. Don't keep me waiting.
But, Angus... Angus! Angus... I replaced the receiver, and I cursed Angus McIntyre. But then I cursed him often in the past. I always obeyed him. He was that kind of fellow. He was everything I was not. Tall and handsome and debonair. A man on the way up. I shut the shop and climbed into my car and drove to the restaurant where I knew Angus would be waiting. I'd done this many times before. But this time, things would be different. Because this time it concerned death and a misunderstanding. I found him sitting in the same corner. He was wearing a white carnation in the buttonhole of his immaculate grey suit. He looked a wealthy young man about town. Only I knew that Angus McIntyre hadn't a penny in the world. He saw me and raised his hand in cheerful greeting.
Come right over, Derry boy. Sit down. I've ordered coffee.
Look, Angus, I can't stay long. I shut the shop, and that's against orders. If old man Phipson arrives on the scene, there'll be the devil to pay.
Look, Derry boy, if things go right for me, you won't need to worry about that shop. You'll come and be my personal assistant, my secretary. How'd you like that? Oh, there's a good idea. My secretary.
Your secretary?
I get to be married. I'm marrying into one of the richest families in the city.
You're marrying into the... But, Angus, what about Mabel?
Oh, it's bad luck about Mabel. You know who the latest is? Marcel Cheron.
Marcel Cheron? You mean the daughter of old Cheron who owns all those racehorses and that quarry out Waldeck way?
The same, Marcel Cheron. What do you think of that, Derry boy? I've landed a nice, rich heiress this time.
You landed her? But, Angus, I didn't even know you knew her. Where in heaven's name did you meet up with Marcel Cheron? She moves in very high-class society.
Do you remember when I went on that trip to Switzerland?
Well, yes.
I stayed at that posh hotel. I borrowed a couple of £100. I called it an investment. I acted the young man about town. I'm a pretty good climber. So I got in with all parties, and the rest was pretty easy. We're going to get engaged.
Yes, but what about Mabel?
Well, what about Mabel?
I thought you were engaged to her. I thought you planned to marry her.
Who said I was engaged to Mabel? Now, I ask you.
Well, I thought it was taken for granted.
I don't like to be taken for granted. I'll never marry Mabel. Oh, she's a nice enough kid, but she's not for me, thank you. She's not in the same class as Marcel.
I see.
You've always been a great help to me, haven't you, Derry? I don't know what I would have done without you. I want you to talk to Mabel.
Me?
You're the one to handle her. If I mention this, she's going to fly off the handle. There's going to be trouble all round. You just smooth the path. Tell her I'm a bad lot. Tell her she's lucky to be shot at me. Tell her that...
Oh, no, I'm not.
Derry boy, this is an important phase of my life. If I marry Marcel Cheron, just think of what it's going to mean to us both. I would never forget an old pal. Oh, come on, Derry. Just talk to Mabel. That's all I ask.
I could never resist Angus when he pleaded with me. It had been the same all my life. I knew I'd tell him I would do all I could. It was at 7 o'clock that night that I knocked on her apartment door.
Come in.
In my heart, I felt sorry for Mabel. She'd been decent to Angus in her fashion, and now she was going to be thrown aside because someone else had a rich father.
Oh, Derek. I thought you might be Angus. Come in. Have a drink. I'm having a sherry. Why don't you turn this wireless off? Lovely music, though, isn't it? I love that tune. As a matter of fact, Angus and I are going dancing tonight. Just feeling the mood for dancing. You like this new dress of mine? Paid a lot of money for it. See, very latest fashion.
I looked at Mabel, and I looked at the chaos around her. She always lived surrounded by chaos. Then she stopped a moment, turned, and looked at me very thoughtfully.
There's something the matter, Derek?
As a matter of fact, Mabel, Angus asked me to call.
Oh?
Yes. You see, Mabel...
Yes? Well, go on, tell me. If it's something bad, tell me quicker and get it over with.
Angus is getting engaged. He asked me to explain. He said he was very sorry, Mabel, but, well, he's fallen for this girl, and that's all there is to it. Now, don't take on hard, Mabel. Try and understand his feelings and all that.
It's odd, but I knew this was coming, Derek. I just knew it. A girl can tell these things. She can tell if a bloke's cooling. And Angus has been cooling ever since that trip of his to Switzerland. Did he meet someone there?
Yes, Mabel.
Suppose she's an heiress or something.
As a matter of fact, I think she has got a great deal of money.
Well, who is she?
I don't know. He didn't tell me. He just said there was someone.
Oh. Well, I suppose I should be philosophical about this. I should say it doesn't matter. But the thing is, Derry, it does matter. It matters a lot to me. I don't like being thrown over. Not by anyone. And not for a girl with more money than me. That's the part that hurts. But he chose her because of money. He's not doing it to me, Derry.
Look, Mabel, try and be sensible about it. You know what Angus is like. When his mind's on something, well, there's no altering it, and he's determined to marry this girl.
And I'm determined that he won't. It's as simple as that.
But you can't stop him.
If Angus doesn't come to heel, if he doesn't marry me and keep his promise, I'm going to do some talking. I'm going to tell a lot of people a lot of things about Angus McIntyre. In the first place, it isn't his name. No, Derry, he's no more Angus McIntyre than I am. He's plain Alfie Smith, and he puts on the accent because he thinks it sounds good. And Angus is a fine, upstanding name, and McIntyre has got a respectable ring to it. That's the only reason why he uses those names. I'm sure that this girl he's keen on wouldn't like that sort of story told her.
Now, look, Mabel, don't get difficult about this.
Well, do you expect me to take this? Just calmly? Do you, Derry? We've been together now for a long time, Angus and me. He's made all manner of promises to me, see? And I'm going to make sure that he keeps them.
She's acting difficult, is she, Derry boy?
I can't make any impression at all. She says you've made promises and you've got to keep to them.
I see.
Otherwise, she's going to talk. Mabel's the kind of girl who would talk if she sets her mind to it. She's not easy, Angus. It's a pity you ever chose her.
She's not going to talk, Derry. She's not going to ruin my plans. Oh, no. I'm not going to allow her to do that. Wouldn't be sensible now, would it? Look at all the money I spent on that mountaineering holiday. Just think of the clothes I bought. Just think of the preparations I made, all the plans. Now everything's worked out my way. I'm not allowing a little slip of a girl like Mabel to ruin my future.
I don't see what you can do.
Well, I do.
What?
Simple. Mabel's got to die.
I stared at Angus aghast. He spoke the words so casually and calmly. For a moment, I thought he can't be serious. He couldn't have a thought like that. Then he lit a cigarette, and he watched me speculatively with his brown eyes. Then he blew a perfect smoke ring.
You're shocked, Derry boy.
You can't mean it.
But I do. People die. Happens the whole time. But some folk die a little earlier than others. That's the only difference.
But for goodness sake, what about the police? Angus, you can't talk about murdering Mabel. You can't be serious.
Look, Derry, I've told you I've made my plans and no one is going to wreck them, but no one. I've told you I've invested a lot of money in this little do, and I'm not wasting that money. If Mabel won't cooperate, Mabel has got to die. It's as simple as that.
You'd kill her?
Why not? Let's not be sentimental over this, Derry. I've told you there's a lot of money involved. It's my future, and for that matter, it's your future, too. It vitally affects the two of us. Who stands in the way? Mabel. Now I ask you, let's be frank about this, Derry. What good is Mabel? She's untidy. She's no asset to humanity. Not her. She's more of a liability than anything. I could be quite humane about the way I did it. She need never know. It'd be all over. That's that.
I couldn't believe my ears. Was this Angus talking? Angus, who I'd admired so much and felt so proud that he called me friend? Was this Angus? And with a shock of horror, I realized, yes, this is the same old Angus. The man who goes through with his plans regardless, no matter who he hurts in the process. And this is Angus, all right, but playing a different role now. The role of killer. The rest is a nightmare. And there, dominating, is the tall figure of Angus McIntyre, now laughing, now pleading, now planning, and finally his disembodied voice floating to me over the telephone, just when the early evening mist was rising grey and thick off the murky river.
Derry, come round.
Look, Angus, I've been thinking of everything, and you can cut me out. I'm not interested in your plans or your future or anything.
Derry, I want to see you urgently.
But, Angus...
For the sake of friendship, Derry.
All right. The usual place?
No, not the usual place. Come round to my room. I'll be waiting for you there.
Well, Angus, what do you want? What's this all about?
Derry boy, I've done it. I've killed her.
What?
Yes. I know I've talked about wanting to do it. In my heart, I didn't. I thought I could never do it. And then, Derry, she came here and acted crazy. She said that she was going to marry me. She said she would never allow another woman to have me. She stood there like a maniac. She'd found out about Marcel. She said she was going to talk to Marcel's father.
What happened then?
I suddenly realized I'd done it. But the strange thing is, Derry, she didn't make a noise. She didn't make a sound. But there she was, lying on the floor, and she was dead. It was as simple as that.
For heaven's sake, Angus, are you sure you've killed her? She hasn't just fainted, has she?
She's there, under the blanket on the floor.
I remember walking across the floor and moving the blanket. Underneath was a huddled body, and even before I touched it, I knew that Mabel was dead.
We've got to be very clever about this, Derry. We can get away if we're clever, if we plan well. But the thing is, my mind is all sort of confused. I don't seem to be able to make any plans now. I suppose it's shock.
Let's tell the police.
Are you crazy? Tell the police? Me? Hang? Oh, no, there's nothing like that.
But, Angus, what can we do?
I thought you'd be the one to help me.
Help you? But Angus, I can't get myself involved in murder.
What we could do is put her in the car and dump her under the bridge. That's a good place because of the tides. If we put her there, she wouldn't be found for a long time. It would give me a chance to get away.
But the police are going to suspect you for this.
I'm not the only man in Mabel's life. I know that for a fact. There were others, too. Could have been one of them. In any case, I'd work up a good alibi. We'll take her and dump her, and the bridge is the best place.
You can cut me out, Angus. I'm having no part in this.
But, you're my friend.
I was your friend, Angus, but I want no part in murder.
All I ask is that you help me to get her to the car and come with me to the bridge. I can't do it alone. There's no one else I can ask. If we handle this thing properly, the police will never suspect. Come on. Help me.
Once again, he talked me around, and I want to forget what happened next. The lifting of the body, the carrying it down the fire escape stairs quietly. Then, at the bottom, just as we were approaching the car, we heard the footsteps.
There's someone coming, Derry. Go and see who it is. But Angus, don't argue with me, you fool. Try and distract them from coming round this corner. I don't want them to see me. We don't want them to see this. Go on.
Almost in a dream, I walked on alone, and then I saw the old woman.
Evening.
Oh, good evening.
It is a nice evening, isn't it? It's a bit hot for this time of the year, though. You're a friend of number 58, aren't you?
That's right, yes.
You've walked down the fire escape steps.
Yes, that's right. Tell me, have you seen a cat around here?
A cat?
Yes, that's right, a cat. It's a very valuable cat. Belongs to a friend of mine. I had it in a basket, and it escaped. I'm looking for it.
No, I didn't see a cat.
It's one of those Burmese cats. You know, they're very valuable.
Burmese cat?
Do you mind coming over this way and helping me to look? I took her thin arm in mine and turned round. We started to look for the imaginary cat amongst the dustbins in the back of the building. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Angus slip away, dragging the bundle. I heard the slam of the car boot. Then he came towards us.
It's all right, Derry boy. The cat's been found.
Oh, well, that's a relief.
Where did you find it, young man?
It was in the garage. I just caught it and put it in the boot of my car.
Anyway, thank you very much for helping.
It was a pleasure. Still, I'm glad you found the little thing. Good night, young man.
Good night.
That was a close thing. You talked your way out of that very smartly. I was proud of you. Come on, boy. The body's in the boot. Let's get to the bridge as quick as we can.
Angus drove well and with no sign of panic. It wasn't long before the great shape of the bridge cut across the black night sky.
Now, what I suggest is... Wait a minute.
What's up?
They're widening the road at the bridge. They're working there now. Oh, so much for that. Derry boy, we've got to do some quick thinking and alter our plans. Hang on. I think I know just the place. There's a hotel down the coast near Fenwick. There's some cliffs there and the tides are pretty strong. We'll push her over. It'll be days, maybe weeks before she's found. It's a very lonely spot, and apart from the hotel, there are no other houses.
Angus accelerated and turned the car towards the coast. He drove fast. In my heart, I could still admire his coolness. For my part, my mind was becoming numbed with the horror of our situation. What if we could never dispose of the body? What if the police found us and her? I'd be involved in the murder. An hour later, Angus drew up beside a hotel which seemed perched like a lonely eagle's nest on the top of a cliff.
Well, this is it. Ideal, you see. You couldn't get a better place.
But there are people here, Angus.
Oh, they don't matter. They're in the dining room.
But you can't take her out of the boot. Someone will see.
I don't plan to take anything out of the boot. Not yet a while. It's too early in the evening. Wait until about 1 or 2 in the morning. These people would have gone by then. There won't be a living soul about. We can just take our time. Let's park here and go in and have a drink. I think we both need one.
I remember Angus parking the car. I remember vaguely opening the car door and walking towards the tiny bar and ordering something. I don't even remember what it was. I stood without talking, trying to sort out my tangled thoughts. Angus was perfectly at ease and calm beside me. Then I saw twin headlights stabbing the darkness. A car approached along the road and drew up. A figure got out. A figure which suddenly became illuminated in the lights. The figure of a tall policeman. I felt Fear clutched at me. Why were the police here? He walked along towards the cars that were parked. He walked slowly, thoughtfully, as if he was looking for something. Then he saw our car. He stopped beside it. He took out his notebook and seemed to write something down. Then he walked around the car very slowly and very thoughtfully. He paused at the boot. Then, standing back, with his arms folded, he waited. I didn't speak to Angus. I found speech impossible, but I pointed. His eyes widened a moment, and they narrowed. I remember he paid for the drinks. Then he whispered,
Come on, Derry boy. Let's get out of here.
But how did they get onto us?
I don't know. They're onto us for sure. See him standing there? The others are in the car. They've parked it over on that side. Come on, let's get out of here.
I followed him as he quickly walked away and made for the cliffs.
The best thing for us to do, Derry, is to climb down to the beach below and make our escape that way. It's no good for us to start walking on the road. It would attract too much attention. Headlights pick us up.
But I can't crawl down those cliffs.
You're coming with me. Now look, here's where we climb down. You see, it's a little path, nothing to worry about. Just take it easy, take it slowly, and don't panic. That's the big thing.
He stepped forward over the edge of the cliff, following an almost invisible path. The rest happened so quickly. His foot seemed to slip. The side of the cliff crumbled. I threw myself backwards, and as I did so, Angus turned a terrified face towards me. He gave a wide scream as he pitched down to the sands below. I tried to stare over the cliff, but could see nothing, and could only imagine the waves lapping and pulling at the broken body of Angus McIntyre. I turned and staggered towards the hotel. My breath was coming in sobs. I was shocked and horrified, and determined now to go to the police and tell them everything that happened. The constable was standing exactly where we'd left him. He was now leaning against our car. He seemed to be waiting for me.
Excuse me, sir. Is this your car?
He's fallen over the cliff, Constable. There was an accident. The whole cliff just crumbled, and he's at the bottom.
Now, what's this, sir?
Angus. He decided to make a boat for it. He said we should crawl over the cliff face and go along the shore below. And I said I was scared of heights, you see. And I am, Constable. I'm terrified of heights. And he went over, and the cliff face crumbled, and he fell.
Now, calm down a minute, sir.
He owns the car. He's the one that did it, Constable. It's got nothing to do with me. It was Angus. You see, she's Angus's girl, and he was going to marry the other one.
Now, just a minute, sir. The gentleman that owns this car has fallen over the cliff?
Yes.
Have you been drinking? Huh? And what's your friend's name?
Angus McIntyre. But that isn't important.
Oh, it is important, sir. There's been enough complaints from this hotel about parking here. But can't you see what's written there? Look, no parking.
You mean that's why you're here? Because we parked the car here?
Yes, sir, that's right. Now then, let's get this story of yours straight. Now, you tell me the name of the gentleman who owns this car. I'm going to serve him with a ticket.
I stared at him. Then I remembered Angus lying way down there on that damp sand. Then I started to laugh. I started to laugh wildly and hysterically. The constable looked at me in alarm for a moment, but I laughed on. It seemed funny and tragic, and all so unnecessary.
The silent herald of life and death, success or failure, the unseen force that measures man's destiny, reaching its most fateful moment as it slowly strikes the 11th hour.
silent herald of life and death, success or failure. The unseen force that measures man's destiny, reaching its most fateful moment as it slowly strikes the 11th hour.
Sorry, Helen. What was it?
Surely this isn't why you brought me to dinner. To ignore me.
Helen,
You've been staring off into space ever since we got here. Can't you tell me what's bothering you?
I've been trying to. I thought it would be easier to say here. After all, we met at Michelle's and...
Well, go on.
And we say goodbye at Michelle's.
I see. Just like that.
I'm taking the midnight plane from London Airport.
To where?
Paris.
Paris. May I have a cigarette?
Of course.
Thank you. Am I allowed to ask why?
You won't like the answer. Helen, I'm sorry. I thought... Well, it seemed much kinder somehow to tell you in the place where we...
Where we fell in love. It's not hard to say. Not if you really want to say it.
All right, Helen, you've asked for it and I'll tell you. Let me introduce you to the genuine Max Gerard.
I know him.
Oh, no, you never met him. He depends on people like you, Helen. The girls with attractive fortunes.
Max.
Why do you think I came to your table that night? I knew darn well you were Helen Morgan, that your father, Sir Michael, managed the Morgan Trust would eventually be yours. £500,000 sterling.
I see.
Oh, there's a lot more. I knew that if I could play my cards properly, it'd be good for 20 or 30,000. But your father would pay that much to prevent even the suspicion of a scandal.
Blackmail.
Exactly. I was even rather proud of my record up to that time. More than a dozen neat fleecings and never a brush with the police.
I think I'd better be going.
You might let me finish my confession. Oh, I've been questioned once or twice, but never convicted. Fingerprinted once, but that's all. And then 3 months ago, I came in here, and you were here. I asked you to dance, and as we danced, I was mentally calculating how long it would take me.
How long did you give me?
A month.
That was 3 months ago.
That month went by, and I couldn't face the thought of not seeing you. Second month, I kept telling myself not to be a fool, that Helen Morgan was just another bankroll. Then we come to now.
Is that why you couldn't tell me? Because you didn't want to think it was true?
I love you, Helen. Goodbye. Helen, turn this thing around and drop me at the airport.
How can you know what my father thinks of a marriage between us until you've asked him? If you love me enough to leave me, surely you can bring yourself to Beard Father in his den. He's not exactly an ogre.
Oh, I should have known you'd pull off some stunt like this when you followed me out of Michelle's. I should have cleared off to Paris without telling you.
Max, I'll turn round. If that's what you really want.
Keep driving, Helen. At least you'll find out there's no chance for us.
And another thing, Gerard, I've been wondering when Helen would decide to bring you home. Cigar?
No, thanks, sir.
Oh, they're very good, I assure you. I have them brought over from Jamaica.
No, thanks.
I must admit I thought you'd have come to me earlier than this. Help yourself to drink.
Sir Michael,
Usually doesn't take this long, I'm informed. You must be slowing up, Gerard, getting rusty in your technique, perhaps. Ah, that's got it. Well, how much do you want?
Father...
Be quiet, Helen. That is what you came for, isn't it? Well, isn't it, Gerard? I suppose you have a letter that Helen's written to you, something I'll need to buy back.
You've known about me all along.
My dear fellow, I can afford to allow Helen to indulge herself on occasion, if she chooses to do that with a cunning, contemptible, blackmailing crook. I can even afford that. Now, will you have that drink?
I think I'd better.
Father, please, you've got to listen to me.
Gerard?
Thank you. Don't, Helen, leave this to me.
You don't want me to pollute this stuff with soda, I hope? No? Good. One thing puzzles me, Gerard. Why did you come here with Helen? Is that usual? Cheers.
Good health. If you've quite finished, Sir Michael, I'd like to tell you
why I'm here tonight.
You were right, Max. It's no good talking to him.
I was stupid enough to want to believe that there might be a chance for Helen and me. And don't think she doesn't know about me. I told her everything tonight. And when I left her, I was on my way to pick up my plane ticket for Paris.
Did you say a chance? A chance for what?
To be married.
Now, listen, Gerard. Get out. Get out before I have you thrown out. And be on that plane, Gerard. If you ever set foot in England again, I'll have you arrested on sight if I have to part with my entire fortune to fix you.
We'd better go, Max.
You're not going anywhere, Helen. You are not to see this criminal again.
I'm going to marry him, Father. You can't stop me.
So, that's it. No blackmail, eh? I should have given you more credit in the first place. You're cleverer than I thought, Gerard. My reports weren't thorough enough. All right. How much to buy you off? What is the current price for husbands?
Not a cent, Sir Michael. Goodbye, Helen.
I'm coming with you.
All right, Gerard. You can increase your price now. I'm threatening you with a gun. That ought to cost me a few extra thousands.
Father, please.
Keep back, Helen.
Give me that gun.
No.
Helen, don't be a fool.
Do you think I want to harm you, Helen? It's this black... thief.
Father! Father! Max, I've killed him. I've killed him!
Helen, stop that. Helen, listen to me. Stop it, you hear? Stop it.
I killed my own father! You hit me. You hit me.
Darling, I'm sorry, but you've got to listen to me. It was an accident. You were both holding the gun, fighting for it. It might just as easily have been you that got shot.
Oh, Max, what do we do?
I'm going to call the police. No, not the police. I've got a better idea. Helen, take the car. You can be at the airport by midnight easily. As soon as you've gone, I'll ring and cancel my seat on the Paris plane, then book it in your name.
But Max,
Have you got a passport? Good. Go to Paris and stay there till you hear from me. I'll take care of things here. I can make this look like suicide.
Oh, darling, don't send me away from you.
Do you really think I want to spend the rest of my life on the run? Afraid to turn around in case I feel a policeman's hand on my shoulder? Blackmail is my line, Helen, not murder. Do you think I'd even consider marrying a murderess? If you don't like the thought of prison, then be on that plane.
But you can't mean it.
I mean every word of it. Now listen to me, you little fool. I can fix things here. No one saw us come in. Leave this end to me and stay away from me. Now get out while the going's good.
I should have let you go. I must have been crazy not to have seen you for what you really are.
Darling, I wish you had. Now, the gun. Get the fingerprints wiped off and... There, that should do it. Put it on the floor about here. His glass, yes. Now mine. And a letter from Helen. Ah, yes, here we are. My darling Max, I want you to know that I... Yes. Yes, just the thing. Crumple it up. Couldn't be better. Helen's fingerprints... No, she was wearing gloves. Now the phone. Hello, London Airport. Oh, this is Max Gerard. I had a seat booked on the midnight flight to Paris. Yes, that's right, Air France. That seat is being taken over by Miss Helen Morgan. Yes, that's right, Helen Morgan. Yes, she'll be at the airport in approximately half an hour. Thank you. Good night. I think, after all, I might try one of your cigars, Sir Michael, while we both wait. Hello. Police? This is Max Gerard speaking. Yes. I think you'd better send someone over here right away. Yes, that's right. I've just killed a man.
And furthermore, my lord, gentlemen of the jury, the prosecution firmly believes, and indeed will prove to you beyond a shadow of doubt, that the defendant, Max Gerard, shot down his victim in cold blood when his attempt to extort money from Sir Michael Morgan met with the contempt, the scorn, and refusal it so richly deserved. We will prove to you, gentlemen of the jury, that learned counsel for the defense has no foundation in fact on which to establish the defendant's innocence. The Crown will further prove to you...
Your name is Max Gerard, is it not?
It is.
Mr. Gerard, will you tell the court just how you earn your living?
By my wits. And you?
Would it not be safer, and indeed more accurate, Mr. Gerard, to describe your profession as that of a common blackmailer? Read all about it! Verdict expected at Old Bailey! Verdict expected in Morgan murder case! Read all about it!
How say you? Do you find the prisoner guilty or not guilty?
We find the prisoner guilty as charged.
Sometimes we may wonder why a football team doesn't quit playing and walk off the field when it finds itself 50 points behind with only a few minutes of play to go. What is that indomitable spirit that fills men with hope and keeps them going in spite of terrific odds? Keeps them going just to play the game according to the rules, just to get the job done as well as they know how. This kind of spirit pervaded the feelings of heavy bomber crews of the 9th Air Force on that day of glory, August 1st, 1943, the day of one of the most secretly planned surprise bombing missions of World War II, the day of the low-level attack on the Romanian oil refineries at Ploiești. More than 170 B-24 heavily loaded bombers took off in a swirl of red dust from Benghazi, Libya, to bomb a highly defended priority target. The element of surprise in the low-level attack was to be one of their greatest weapons. But things went wrong from the start. 3 planes exploded during takeoff operations. 11 more aborted due to engine trouble. Of those that reached the target area, less than 1/3 returned to home base. The leaders of the mission encountered navigation difficulties and difficulty in identifying the specific targets. And due to the loss of that elemental hope, surprise, they also encountered devastating enemy firepower from flak and fighters. The mission was partially successful, but a horrifying experience. 5 medals of honor were awarded to the heroes of the Ploiești raid for valorous action above and beyond the call of duty. At any time, the men would have been justified in turning back. But they had a code of conduct that made them want to see the unequal game through to the end. It was a job that had to be done. A charge of the Light Brigade in the air as they flew down the Valley of Death to glory.
Read all about it! Read all about it! Trace the 2 continents, baffle and search for missing heiress. Search for Ellen Morgan goes on. Read all about it! Read all about it! Checkmate, Peters. For the umpteenth time this week. Can't you do better than that?
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Gerard, but I never was that good at chess. Working in a jail makes a man's brain sluggish, I reckon.
Oh? I should have thought in a job like this that you'd have had all the practice in the world.
Not all of them like chess, you see, and...
Well, let's try again, shall we? Come on, set him up.
Yeah. I must admit, though, Mr. Gerard, that you don't half play a hard game to beat.
You've got to concentrate, man. Think further ahead than your opponent. I'll play without my queen and...
Is there something wrong, Mr. Gerard?
Hmm? No. No, I was just thinking of a night I spent at Michelle's.
Afraid I don't know a place of that name.
And then you must go there sometime, Peters. The music is discreet, the cuisine excellent, the service impressive. And you meet the most enchanting people.
If you'd rather not play then, Mr. Gerard.
What? Oh, yes. If I win this game, Peters, I'm afraid there's no hope for you. Now, let's see. Yes. King's Knight to Bishop 3.
That's right. Yes, sir. Here I at once, sir. Has the River Patrol been notified? Very good, sir. Yes, I'll take Detective Sergeant Wardrop and get down the embankment right away. All right, Wardrop. Let's get going. Looks like another waterfront killing and... Hey, Wardrop, I'm talking to you.
What? Oh, sorry, Bertie.
Are you still thinking of that Gerard case?
Yes, I am. There's something I don't like about it.
Look, it's the first time you've handled a murder case, isn't it?
Yes, but...
I can remember the first one I was on. Once the poor devil had been sentenced, I began to have all sorts of doubts. Wondering if I'd interpreted the facts correctly and all that sort of thing.
Oh, it's not only that. the fact that, from the little we know about Gerard's past activities, this murder's out of character.
Now listen to me, Wardrop. If people didn't step out of character, there wouldn't be any murderers. Right?
I suppose so, but...
Who was it rang us up in the first place to admit the killing?
Gerard?
Whose fingerprints were all over the gun?
Gerard's, but...
And the letter from that girl was still there, lying on the floor where Sir Michael must have thrown it, wasn't it?
It all fits, I admit that.
Yes, and then at the last minute, Gerard changes his mind and claims the police forced a confession out of him. Pleads not guilty. Tries to claim he was beaten up. No. No, Gerard's a no-hoper, Wardrop. I've known more than one blackmailer try his hand at murder. If you ask me, you're wasting your sympathy on a man who sponged on women all his life.
But there's the girl. Where's she? She can't have just disappeared into thin air.
Ah, she'll turn up. Wouldn't you want to vanish if you were in her shoes? And discovered that the man you were in love with was going to blackmail your father?
Well,
come on. We've got to get down to the embankment. Come in.
Detective Inspector Burton, sir. There's a young lady who says she's got to see you at once. Says it's urgent, sir.
What's her name?
Miss Ellen Morgan, sir.
Ellen Morgan. Show her in, Constable.
Will you go in, miss?
Thank you.
This might be it, Burton.
I'd like to speak to the man who is in charge of the case against Max Gerard.
Won't you sit down, Miss Morgan? I'm Detective Inspector Burton, and this is Detective Sergeant Wardrop. He's the man you want. I'll leave you to it, Wardrop.
Right, sir.
We've been very anxious to find you, Miss Morgan. I wouldn't hope for too much, Wardrop.
Mr. Wardrop, you've got to stop them hanging Max Gerard. You've got to.
Sergeant, miss. Now, supposing we start with first things first, Miss Morgan.
There isn't time for that, don't you see? In 4 days from now, he's due to... He didn't do it.
Do you know who did it, then?
Of course I know. Now, listen to me, Sergeant. It was like this. Max was booked to go to France on the midnight plane that night. I pleaded with him not to go. I followed him out to Michelle's, and I said if he'd made up his mind, well, then I'd drive him to the airport. But I drove him to my home. I persuaded him to talk to my father. And then, when we got there...
And something's come up that makes it imperative that we go back over the events of that night. The night of Sir Michael Morgan's death, Gerard.
Your move, I think, Peters.
Mr. Gerard, I think we...
It's all right, Peters. Oh, you don't want to talk about it. Now, Gerard?
Wardrop, the case is closed, finished. And so are you, Peters. Checkmate.
Very neat. Did you know that Elaine Morgan has returned to London?
No, I didn't.
She wants the case reopened.
What's wrong? Hasn't she got a pound of flesh?
She claims that she killed her father.
She claims what?
Her story is quite convincing, Gerard. In some respects, it falls into place very neatly. You were at Michelle's with her that night. You did leave, and she followed you out, right?
Correct.
You'd said goodbye to her at your table. You were flying, that is, to France on a midnight plane.
Sure.
What made you change your mind? According to Miss Morgan, she drove you to her home, where you both spoke with her father. He tried to buy you off when you asked to marry his daughter, and when he couldn't do that, he produced a gun. There was a struggle between he and his daughter, and the gun was fired.
I see. Tell me, Wardrop, did you see any sign of a struggle when you got there?
No, but...
Do you think if there was the faintest chance of me, I wouldn't grab at it, clutch it like a drowning man? Why do you think I changed my plea to not guilty at the last moment? Because I was terrified, Wardrop. Because I realized I put a noose around my neck.
Why'd you change your mind about that plane ticket? Why'd you ring the airport and book a seat for Miss Morgan, cancelling your own at the same time? I've checked the time of that call, Gerard. And it must have been shortly before or right after Sir Michael was killed.
Wardrop, I'm touched that Miss Morgan should go to such lengths on my behalf. But hell hath no fury like a woman, etc., etc. Where's she been all this time? Why has she left until now to come forward? Does it occur to you that she might be trying to, prolong the agony? I killed her father, Wardrop. If she could arrange for me to start hoping that she really could help me, wouldn't it be much more satisfying for her when she kicked the ground from under my feet?
You haven't answered any of my questions.
The phone call to the airport. When I left Michelle's, Helen did follow me, and she did say she'd drive me there. I knew that I had to get rid of her. After all, I had an appointment with her father with regard to a certain letter. I laid the foundation of my plan to get rid of her in Michelle's when I told her I was tired of her and was going to Paris.
Go on.
Well, she started to drive and began to plead with me not to go. She said she'd do anything I asked if I'd only stay with her. So I told her then that I had a letter she had written to me that I intended to sell it to her father. The letter you found in Sir Michael's drawing room.
Yes?
Oh, that did the trick, all right. She stopped the car and began to tell me that she'd never be able to face her father. We argued back and forth for some time, but suddenly she stopped pleading with me and said she was going to leave England, that she wanted to go away and hide. She's a very emotional girl, Wardrop.
And it was then that you thought of letting her have your seat on the plane?
Exactly. I got rid of her and rang the airport to cancel my own seat and book it for her. Then, with Helen safely out of the way, I went to see her father. The rest you know.
She did tell me that she'd been unaware of the fact that we were looking for her.
Where has she been all this time?
In a little village called Leclerc in the south of France. She claimed that she couldn't bring herself to even buy a newspaper. She wanted to forget that she'd killed her father. Or try to.
Wardrop, you haven't a very high opinion of me, have you?
What if I haven't?
Do you think if Helen Morgan had been in that room with me when her father was shot that I would have helped her get away? I'd have done my darndest to incriminate her.
All right, Gerard, have it your way.
If you like, you can give her a message for me.
Such as what?
Tell her I think I'm much safer where I am. Here I've only the law and Peter's abominable chest to contend with. Out there, Helen Morgan loved her father very dearly, Wardrop. I wonder just what kind of revenge she has in mind for the man who killed him.
You can't let him die. You can't. Oh, how many more times do I have to tell you I'm the one you're looking for? Don't you see that he knew that with what you know about his past, you'd believe him guilty?
Miss Morgan, we've checked his story a dozen times. He's not worth what you're going through, nor the sacrifice you're trying to make.
And he won't even see me. Do you know why, Sergeant Wardrop? Because he's afraid I'd make him tell the truth. Oh, he planned it beautifully. From the time my father was killed. When he saw that I wouldn't leave, he told me he wasn't going to marry a murderess, that he wanted only to be rid of me. Well, I'd lost my father. I'd killed him. And from that moment on, I thought I'd lost Max, too. And he set out to save me at the cost of his own life. Well, I hid myself away, nursing my grief and shame.
Miss Morgan, you're forgetting one thing. At his trial, Gerard changed his plea. He claimed we'd forced a confession from him.
I know why he did that. He had to be the Max Gerard that you knew until the end. He wanted you to think that he was searching desperately for a way of escape. To convince everyone that he was a guilty and frightened man.
I brought you cigarettes, Mr. Gerard.
Oh, thanks. Peters, will you do me another favor?
If I can, sir.
When this is over, will you go and see Helen Morgan?
If that's what you want, sir, yes.
Tell her that when the pain is gone, I hope she'll sometimes remember the music at Michelle.
Another visit with Joe and Daphne Forsythe.
Joe. Joseph!
Yeah, I'm up. Pour the coffee. I'll be right in.
Relax. It's 3 a.m.
Huh?
I said relax. It's 3 a.m.
I was relaxed. Daphne, why did you wake me up?
Well, I was just wondering what happened to our savings bonds.
You were what?
I had a dream. I dreamed you lost all of your money and all we had left were our savings bonds.
I see.
So I just wanted to make sure they were all right.
They're all right. They're with the other important papers.
You're sure?
Of course I'm sure.
Well, I just don't want anything to happen to them. Savings bonds are the most secure form of investment. Why, the whole faith and credit of the United States stand behind those bonds of ours.
Uh-huh.
So they're even better than dollars in your pocket because the government stands behind them and protects them.
Uh-huh.
And they protect us, too, Joe. Every bond is an investment in our country, in our security and freedoms. Joe? Well, how about that? He feels so secure he went back to sleep. Good night, darling.
Be listening for another mounting drama of action and suspense when we again bring you The 11th Hour.
This is the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
This is the Internet radio service of SpringbokRadio.com.
You're sure to meet someone you know on Springbok Radio.
Silent herald of life and death, success or failure, the unseen force that measures man's destiny, reaching its most fateful moment as it slowly strikes the 11th hour.
Is it petrol you want?
Yes, please. Just a couple of gallons. I'm showing empty and I've another 8 miles to go.
Oh, wouldn't do to get stuck in this weather. 2 gallons, eh? Terrible night.
Awful.
And we haven't seen the worst of it yet. Not by any manner of means. The storm will come directly over here, I shouldn't doubt. They do say that the road will get washed out by the morning.
Is it still all right farther on?
I believe so. 2 gallons, 7 and 4, please, miss. Thank you. Travelling alone?
Yes, I own a cottage on the Moor Road.
Oh, if I were you, I'd turn back to Mortdale. Not good for a woman to be out on her own at this time of night. Not after that news bulletin that just came through.
News bulletin?
Didn't you hear it?
No. I haven't been anywhere near a wireless since I left London hours ago.
Oh, nasty business. Prisoner escaped from Dartmoor. Bad one. Murderer. Desperate too, by all accounts. Everyone in the district's been told to watch out for him. Anyone up there at your cottage, miss?
No. But I'm expecting some friends later on this evening. They're motoring down from Ilfracombe. I was going on ahead to get the place ready.
Well, I don't think it's very wise for you to go on up there alone. It's after 8 now.
Well, they won't be arriving till 10. And if I don't get there first, they won't be able to get in.
Oh, well, I expect you'll be all right. Just as long as you don't stop on the way, that's all.
I won't, don't worry. Oh, no. Now what's gone wrong?
Turn it off till I have a look.
It was making some funny noises earlier.
Oh, no wonder. Fan blades bent.
Can it be fixed?
Oh, it's old, the radiator. It's leaking badly.
Oh, dear.
No, I'm afraid you can't go any farther in this car, miss. Not tonight, anyway.
But I have to get to the cottage.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you what I can do. I can drive you up to your cottage in my utility. I'll shut up the garage. Won't be any more passing trade tonight, that's for certain.
Well, that's very kind of you.
No, it's no trouble.
I'll pay you, of course.
Oh, don't worry about that. I'll start work on that radiator in the morning. Have it fixed by the afternoon. Then maybe one of your friends will drive you down to collect it.
Yes, that'll be fine.
Well, now, you stay right there. I'll pull the utility in alongside of your car so as you won't have far to walk in this rain. Back in a minute.
The road's really bad now.
Yes.
You're going to have a terrible drive back.
Oh, don't worry me none. I'm used to it.
The cottage is just a little way ahead now.
You come up to your cottage often, miss?
Well, this is really only the second time. I only bought it a couple of months ago. Wanted somewhere to hibernate when city life became too tedious.
This is the place to hibernate, all right. The moors. Yes, I thought you knew about the place. Know most people around here. Lonely spot, though.
Especially on a stormy night.
Good couple of hours before them friends of yours come down.
If they get to the cottage at all. Perhaps the Ilfracombe road has been cut off.
Could be. Well, if they don't show up, you just take my tip and keep that cottage of yours well locked up tonight. You don't want that escaped convict come knocking at your door. Bad one, that. Police gave a description of him. Tall, blonde fella. Yeah, and they reckon he's got a gun. Stole it from a warder he killed.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I'm sorry, miss. I'm scaring you, aren't I? Oh, he's probably miles away by now. They might even have caught him. You'll be all right. Got a telephone up there?
No.
Electricity?
Yes, they put it on about 3 weeks ago.
And you'll have a wireless, no doubt. Oh, well, that'll be some company for you, won't it? And you'll be able to keep in touch with the news on that convict fella. Oh, there's a cottage up there.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, yes, 'tis a lonely sort of place, isn't it? In my younger days, you'd never find a lady living alone in an out-of-the-way sort of place like that. Still, they do say as how the modern woman can look after herself better these days. A bit too independent, if you ask me. Well, here we are. You run on ahead and get the door open. I'll bring in these parcels. Well, it seems to me you can feed an army with this lot.
My friends are staying for the weekend.
You better run. You'll get soaked in 2 shakes.
Hold it a second. I'll put the light on. The whole light's just here, in the corner. Oh, no.
Lights on the blink?
They promised they'd connect the power 2 weeks ago.
Oh, probably did. Power failure, more than likely. Wouldn't surprise me in this storm. Yeah, wait till I put these parcels down.
No lights, no wireless, no nothing. Suddenly hibernation has lost all its charm.
Well, now we can see what we're about.
There's some hurricane lamps and things in this cupboard. And there's a paraffin stove here, too. The least I can do is to offer you a cup of tea for your kindness, Mr...
Oh, just call me Harry. Everyone else does.
And my name's Jill Dorning. Oh, that's better. It gives a bit of an eerie light, though.
Better than none at all.
You will have a cup of tea.
Oh, go down well, thanks.
Tea's in the brown paper parcel.
Right.
You lived in the area long, Harry?
All my life, Miss Dorning. Oh, it's all right in the summer, you know. A bit depressing in winter, though. And lonely, too. Take this cottage, for instance. I bet that convict fellow would be darn pleased to find a spot like this. He could stay here for days without anyone coming near.
Oh, well, that gave me such a scare. 8:30. Must have taken us half an hour to drive those 8 miles.
Now, that's very strange, that is.
Oh, well, the road was bad.
No, I mean that clock chiming then. How long is it since you were here at the cottage?
2 months ago when I bought it.
Clock goes for 8 weeks.
I know. No, it doesn't.
And the place has been locked up?
Of course.
I think someone's broken into this house. Recently, too.
The escaped convict.
Could be. How many rooms to this place?
Lounge, kitchen, dining room, study. And upstairs there's 2 bedrooms and a bathroom.
Yes, Miss Dorney. It struck you too, didn't it? He might still be in the place.
Oh, let's get out of here.
Not a bad idea. Well, I got the feeling we've just had a lucky escape. I spoke too soon.
It must start, it must. Try again.
Come on, you miserable old crock.
Maybe some water got in under the bonnet.
Well, I'll go and have a look. You stay where you are.
Can you see what the trouble is? Oh, well?
We'll not get this to start.
Why not?
Someone's taken the distributor head off.
But
they must have done it whilst we're in the house.
What are we going to do, Harry?
Only one thing we can do.
Start walking.
Now look at that road. We wouldn't get far. And he'd follow us for sure. He's probably watching us right this very minute.
Oh, dear.
We've got to go back into that cottage, Miss Dawn.
Into the cottage?
Reach under the seat there. You'll find a jack handle. Hand it to me, will you?
But he's got a gun.
Aye. But there's 2 of us. If I could get close enough to him before he pulls the trigger...
Oh, no, you couldn't. He's a desperate man.
That's right. He'd kill you as soon as look at you. He's a 3-time loser. And they say he's a psychopath, too, mad. Like I said, he's probably watching us right now. And if we made any sort of move, he'd follow and shoot us down, likely as not. You know why? Because we'd report his position to the authorities first chance we got. And they'd come after him right away.
Then we're trapped.
But we got one advantage over him, Miss Dorning.
An advantage?
He doesn't know about your friends coming down from Ilfracombe.
But they won't be here for an hour and a half yet.
That's right. So we've got to try and keep him occupied till then. An hour and a half, Miss Dorney. Come on, let's get back into that cottage.
If he sees that jack handle...
I'll hide it under my coat. Come on. That window over there. It's open. That's how he's been getting in and out. Keep going.
So dark. If only there was more light.
I'm very glad there's not. Oh. It wouldn't have been quite so easy if the place had been a blaze of light. Yes, this is a gun I'm holding. It's loaded and the safety catch is off. Now you, my friends, be so kind as to drop that jack handle on the floor. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to give you any chance to use it.
Die goeie ou dae van Springbok Radio is terug. 20 onverkrygbare liedjies nou op 1 CD. Met al jou gunstelinge: Virginia Lee, Cora Marie, Anton Goosen, Sonja Herold, Cupido en vele meer. Herleef Springbok Radio, Afrikaanse treffers.
Splash the water hog, splashing all day long. Using up the water, it's too late when it's gone. If you want to help, then this is what to do. Make sure the water hog is never, never you. Just make sure the water hog is never, ever you.
Die volgende klassieke advertensie van Springbok Radio se verlede kom met die vergunning van die Springbok Radio Bewaringsvereniging van Suid-Afrika.
Wat jy in die lewe wil hê, doen dit nou. Jij bereikt net wat jij wil, als jij daarbij houdt. En suiker is die rechte ding, verhoogde energie. Als jij naar die zoetpoeters rijdt, doe het nou met suikerenergie. Suiker is die rechte ding, verhoogde energie. Als jij naar die zoetpoeters rijdt, suiker is energie. Energie.
Do as I say. Drop that jack handle. Now! That's better. And move away from it, both of you. Go and stand in the center of the room where I can see you. Fine. My, what an attractive girl.
Listen up.
Quiet! For the moment, I'm going to do all the talking. Everyone starts babbling and I get confused. I thought someone would show up, eventually. Now, mind you, I didn't think for one moment that we'd be entertaining a lady. I've been here quite some time. 3 hours, to be exact. Thought this would be a good place to wait. Remote, lonely. No one ever passes here, right off the beaten track.
I'll catch up with you.
Oh, you think so? I overheard you mention something about a cup of tea, Miss Dorney. Now, that'd be a good idea. I like it strong with plenty of sugar. I wonder if you wouldn't mind fixing me up with one. Oh, and one for yourself and our friend, of course. Oh, I'm so tired. So terribly tired. Been on the go for hours.
Yes, I'll bet you have.
Very exhausting business.
You're a cool customer.
You have to be in this life, my friend. You know, this isn't a bad spot, is it? A fellow could stay hidden here for ages, couldn't he?
I suppose so.
I suppose you came up from the garage down the road. All right, don't answer then. Doesn't matter anyway. You must have come from there. The Ilfracombe road's been cut by the flood.
Oh.
Did I say something to startle you, Miss Dorning?
You're lying. It's not cut
I'm
off.
sure it is. How's that tea coming along?
The kettle's nearly boiled.
Good. Then after we've had the tea, we'll have to be making a move.
Make a move?
Well, we can't stay here, can we?
So it'll happen outside.
No.
Your hand's shaking. Are you frightened?
You are a devil.
Your tea.
I'm afraid you'll have to give me the cup on its own. I can't manage the saucer and the cup with one hand. Yeah, that's it. Now, hand me the cup.
Here.
Catch!
Good girl!
Get the gun! That was quick thinking, Miss Dorning. All right. Give me the gun now. That's it. You got a clothesline in the kitchen somewhere?
Yes, I think so.
Beautiful timing, and it took a lot of pluck.
Oh, my feet.
All right, on your feet, you. Yeah, that's better. Now, don't try anything funny.
Here we are.
Were you ever in the Girl Guides, miss? Because if you were, then here's a chance to brush up on your knot tying. Are you? Sit down in the chair over there. Tie him up, or I'll keep him covered, Miss Dorney.
Right.
You fool. What was the idea of that, eh? Are you in with him or something? He's the escaped convict, not me.
What?
Oh, they're devilishly clever, aren't they? Psychopathic, cunning, trying to confuse you see?
Yes, of course.
Tie him tight, miss.
I'm a police officer.
Yes, Mr. Sherlock Holmes himself, I've no doubt.
This man is Frederick Lemuel. He escaped from Dartmoor this morning.
You can't fool me. That's Harry. He owns the guards down the road. He's lived in this district for years.
And you just stop trying that trick, mister, because it won't do you any good. We've got you now, and you aren't going to get away. Let me have a look at them knots, Miss Dorning. Yeah, yes, that's tight enough.
Miss Dorning, believe me, you're making an awful mistake.
You keep that up, and we're going to have to gag you, my lad.
Harry, supposing he is a police officer, and he mistook you for this man, Lemuel.
No, he's Lemuel, miss, no doubt about that. Look, he fits the description to a T. Tall, blonde, and he was carrying a gun, wasn't he? The Cornwall Constabulary don't carry guns, and they always go about in pairs.
Oh, all right, it's a fair cop. What happens now?
That's better. Well, we just wait, that's all. Any more hurricane lamps in the house, miss?
Yes, there's some upstairs on the landing.
I'll go and get them. We could do with a bit more light in case his nib starts getting ideas.
Listen, Miss Dorning.
You must believe me.
I'm not listening to you.
Look, the power hasn't failed at all. I shut it off with the fuse box when I came into the place.
A bit more light on the subject and we'll be able to watch him more closely. Looks all right, doesn't he, eh? All parceled up like a package of snout.
Harry?
Yes, miss?
He just told me the power hasn't failed at all. He said he switched it off at the main when he broke in.
No.
I'll go and put it back on again.
Good idea. And then we won't need to light this lamp. Fuse box inside.
Yes, it's just here in the hallway. There. And Mr. Lemuel must have had the wireless on whilst he was here. Well, at least we'll have some music to while away the time.
Ever read any stories about prison life, Miss Dorning?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have.
Well, you get the true story from him, miss.
Fascinating slang terms used in Dartmoor. Remember any of them?
Why, yes, I think so.
Yeah, Bogey is a warder, Peterman is a safecracker, a Scarper is an escapee, tobacco. Do you know what the slang term is for tobacco, Miss Dorning?
Why, yes, it's called snout. Snout. But, Harry, didn't you just
interrupt this musical program for a news bulletin which has just come to hand.
Oh, we don't want to listen.
Frederick Lemuel, the convicted murderer who escaped from Dartmoor prison this morning, is still at large.
That's what they think.
Police have now established the identity of the second murder victim attributed to Lemuel since his escape. The body found was that of...
No, we don't want to listen to any more of that. Gives me the shivers with the bloke sitting right here in front of us.
Another murder.
Well, he isn't going to do any more murdering, that's for certain. Ooh, it's getting darn cold in here. All right if I build a fire, Miss Dorney?
Yes, of course. There's wood and coal in the shed just outside.
Good. I'll go and get some. You'll be all right on your own for a minute or two, won't you? He can't hurt you.
Yes, I'll be all right.
Well, did you understand what I was getting at when I talked about the tobacco, Miss Dorning?
Snout. Harry used that expression.
Yes, right. Only someone who spent time in jail would know it.
But that doesn't necessarily mean he's been in jail. I mean, well, he could...
Makes you think, though, doesn't it? Do I look like a murderer to you?
I don't know what a murderer looks like.
Look, if you don't set me free...
Look, stop it. You're confusing me. You admitted you were Frederick Lemuel.
Of course I did. If he'd seen me convince you that I wasn't, then your life would have ended right on the spot. Now, how can I prove... You must get at that radio on again. There'll be another bulletin come through soon. Only trouble is he'll hear it, too. Now, look, please trust me. Believe me, your life depends on it.
You were carrying a gun.
When a convict escapes, a dangerous convict like Lemuel, then all local police are issued with revolvers.
But he was down at the garage when I drove in for petrol.
That's right, that's logical. But you don't know who the second murder victim was, do you?
Garageman?
Why not?
But policemen travel in twos.
Right again. We were in a wireless patrol car on the Ilfracombe Road, got bogged down. My partner stayed with the car and I came on. Look, for Pete's sake, stop talking and get me out of these ropes.
Oh, it's miserable and cold out there. I'll get this fire going as quickly as I can.
I think I'll put the wireless on again, if you don't mind, Harry.
Oh, now look, it makes me nervous.
Another bulletin just ahead. Police are now converging on a remote cottage off the Mortdale-Ilfracombe Road, where it's believed the escaped Frederick Lemuel is hiding. This move follows the finding of the body of Harry Mortimer, garage proprietor of the Mortdale Road service station.
Oh, no.
The description of the wanted man is as follows. Age 54, dark, thinning hair, height 5'6", thin, and with sharp features.
That's your description.
That's right, Miss Dorning. I'm the man they want. Pity you put the wireless on. You'd have been all right if you hadn't have heard that bulletin. Always, Nibsy, I would have had to be killed, but I was quite prepared to let you go. Now I'll have to fix the two of you, won't I?
Don't be a fool, Lemuel. Time's running out for you.
Oh, they'll not catch me. I'm too smart, much too smart. You see, I fooled Miss Dorning, didn't I? Then I can fool others too. Well, I had to kill the fella down at the garage. Well, I wanted some clothes and his utility. The utility. All right, you. Where's that distributor cap?
You can search for a year, but you never find it, Lemuel.
You better tell me, mister.
You should mean you never know.
I wasn't thinking of shooting you. I was thinking about Miss Dorning. Come on, where's that distributor cap?
Outside. Let me loose and I'll take you to it. Too hard to describe its exact position.
All right, but I've been watching you like a hawk. Untie him, miss. No tricks while you're doing it. She'll get the first bullet and you'll get the second. Right, stand up. Walk on ahead of me, both of you.
It's over here, by the front wheel of the car.
Didn't do a very good job of hiding it, did you?
Didn't have very much time.
Lift the bonnet of the truck, miss. All right, pick up the cap. That's it, and fit it on. And proper, mind. I'm watching everything you do. All right, now put the bonnet down. All right, now I'm going to get into the utility. What's that?
That's a police car you can hear.
Well, it won't catch me. What's the matter with this cursed thing?
Haven't a clue. Run, Miss Horning, run!
Here, you, come back here, you!
Lemuel's in the utility! All right, Lemuel, better come quietly.
You didn't put the cap on right, are you?
Oh, but I did, Lemuel. And if you'd really been a garage proprietor, you'd have known that a distributor here that's been lying in the rain to be soaking wet. And there's not a car in this world that'll start with a wet distributor. Okay, take him away, boys.
Time, the silent herald of life and death, success or failure, the unseen force that measures man's destiny, reaching its most fateful moment as it slowly strikes the 11th hour. Time, the silent herald of life and death, success or failure, the unseen force that measures man's destiny, reaching its most fateful moment as it slowly strikes the 11th hour.
You got a gun. Ain't seen her lady. You bound to use it.
Echo of a Savage.
My granddaddy killed men in the war. My daddy killed the Boards in the Crane and Kirk feud. And killed my boy in that Tarawa place. All with guns. But me, I don't aim to hurt nobody. He'll move soon. He'll be a chore. But land's all about it. He's all gator land. Man, the gators building the nest, and they sure blame Riley. Ought to get me Aunt Bold motor, except I won't afford it. And not from what the traps bring in. And even if I did, I'd never keep the blame thing in gas. It's gonna get tougher and tougher to move this here shanty boat with a skiff. I ain't getting no younger. That ain't the wind. And gators don't walk down steps, so I got a visitor. Now, what tarnation? Well, he don't even bother to knock.
All right, if we bother you?
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Foley. Do you have any guns here?
I don't believe in them.
Oh, don't you really? I'd think that living in a primordial morass would make a gun a necessity.
Well, how's that you called it? A prime what?
It means the primitive state, out of the time of elemental savagery. This is Jane, and this is not, I repeat, not her Tarzan. His name is Sam.
Oh, come on, Foley. Quit fooling around.
Is this boat safe? It looks older than the Ark.
I took the builder myself. Bottom's still sound as a nut.
I hope so. I don't like water. I don't swim. I better scout around for any guns, just to be sure.
Well, why can't Sam look? I'm bushed.
Because Sam will look for the wrong things. Sam will look for little valueless objects he can stick in his pockets. Won't you, Sam?
You keep an eye on the bag, huh, Dad? What's in there?
Yeah, sleeping room.
You live here alone? Many people live in this immediate vicinity? The cot over there where my friend Sam is sitting now. You have a companion here?
Nope. Belong to my son.
And where's your son now?
Died 20 years ago.
I'll explain exactly what we want from you. Food, blankets, and directions. We want to get across the swamp.
Engineer plane, then. It's 600 miles crossed. Every mile is kindly hell on earth.
Oh, we'll worry about that end of it. Because of this, you see, this bag. We're in a bit of a hurry.
Yeah. I reckon that dar bag goes for money, don't it? And I reckon it's stole from a bank or some such.
I'm afraid it's more than a case of stealing, old man. You see, there was some objection to the transfer of ownership.
What he thinks he's telling you is that Sam there doesn't know his own strength when he gets excited. You've known men like that. Somebody makes a pass at them and they go all wild and grab on like a bulldog. And everything upstairs goes blank. Well, Sam's like that. That's what Foley there thought he was telling you. But he's English, you see. And the English take an awful long time to spit out of their mouths what occurs in their heads. There's a roadblock sometimes between the grey matter and the lips.
Had me an uncle like that once. He was a gator grabber till he got a hold of the wrong gator once.
Why don't we hole up in this scow for a while? I'm not any too excited about getting any deeper into this gator slough.
We're too close to the Suwannee. They run excursion boats all along the river. And where an excursion boat can go, a police boat can go one better.
Well, at least tonight. I'm bushed.
And just for tonight, we'll lock the old man in the front room.
Huh? Why waste a double bed? Sam can fix him out in that slough. Either Sam or you. Maybe thinking again we'd better not let
No.
Sam...
Some local might come along. We'd need the old fellow then to act as a front.
That's it, then. This here's my last night. Because I already done told me more than they can let me live to tell on them.
I thought you were, bushed.
I'm 35, pal. I ain't too tired I can't count my share. You don't have any great urgent objections, do you, Mr. Foley? You don't really want it to stay in one lump? So some smart boy, all he has to do is to pick up the whole bag of boodle tonight and skip out while the other two are sleeping. Do you, Mr. Foley, sir, Esquire, my lord?
Of course not, Janie, my dear. By the way, I don't suppose you found a gun when you looked.
I didn't find one. You want to search me?
Certainly. I think I ought to. Now, don't tell me, Jane, that no man's ever done that to you before. Because, dear girl, I simply won't believe you.
I'm choosy, you ain't
Don't
have
look
touched
an
me,
innocent,
Mr.
blushing
Foley.
virgin.
Sure, men have touched me.
I think I'm
sure, I'm...
going to, shall we
Listen,
say,
I can't talk at the same time as you, Mr. Foley, so one of us ought to... Now look what you done. You rattled Sam's cage over there. You got him all excited.
You were saying?
Oh, I've forgotten.
You were about to talk of men, of your past experiences.
You think I'm going to give you a cheap thrill?
All right. I shall take your word for it, Jane. Just as I took your word when you told us you lost our only pistol on the river.
Damn it, Foley, if you think I'd be...
Forgive me, Jane. I was only ribbing you. I'm sorry.
Where the heck do you think I'd hide a lousy gun? Where? Oh, all right, don't say what's in your nasty, unpleasant English mind.
I was simply thinking that a lady has a multitude of places. They make the best customs dodges, you know. Ladies.
Sam, come on over here. We're divvying.
Oh, good night, then. I'm mighty tired.
Yeah, you do that. Say good night and get that...
Jane, aren't there some windows in the other room that should be locked from the outside? Now, don't let Jenny upset you. We're not going to kill you. We need you, you see, to guide us across the swamp.
I already done figured that one out for myself, mister. I ain't worried none.
Well, that's very smart of you, old fellow.
Yeah.
Now, come on now. In you go. You'll be quite safe. Pleasant dreams.
Kill me yet. Not till they get what they want out of me. They sure as hell kill me then, though. My wife made this patchwork quilt I'm a lying on. Dead 20-some years. My son dead 20-some years. Do it matter if this old body stops being true? Yeah, too damn sure it do. This old body likes to hear a joey twirp at me from a log. This old body like it when a bear gets a scent and gives a warning snort like when he's working a larvae stump. Snout raised to the sky. This old body likes this here wilderness. The whole witch hobble jungle, my prairie made out of water. Panthers and cottonmouths don't trouble me none. Gators neither. I don't bother them, and they don't give fractions to me neither. They like the garbage I heave over the side. We looks after each other, I guess. No, this old body ain't a-planning to surrender his soul up to heaven a piece yet. For years I thought I don't have much worth living for. But now, dying's nothing, not at my age. But living's poling up the creeks, seeing all them herons and squawk ducks. Living, seeing all them ivy trumpets looking real pretty. The pink hurrah blossoms coming into bloom in the spring. Primordial. Yeah, it's all that and then some. Okefenokee is about as far from civilized places as hell is from a nursery story. One thing sure keeps surprises for strangers. Vile surprise. Yes, sir.
Where's Sam? Where's Sam? Wake up, you bleary old coot. Where's Sam?
I'm getting old. I'm all stiff in the morning. Sam? He ain't in here. Didn't he go to sleep out there, yo?
Yeah, sure, he slept out here with us all. I want to know where he is now.
Well, your partner, Foley, he's out there. Why don't you ask him where Sam is?
I already have. Where is that bent brain?
She's mighty excited, Mr. Foley, about that other fella.
He's gone. The boodle, too. His, yours, mine, all gone. But both the boats are still tied up to the scow. That's funny. Ain't it funny, pal? Because Sam can't walk on water, and he ain't the type for suicide.
Very funny.
Yeah. You had to do it, huh? In the night, when the poor saphead was sleeping.
Oh, why be so cross, Janie? Oh, you mustn't be cross. Your lovely, pretty face is all...
Oh, come off it, Foley. Nobody ever hinted I'd ever win a prize in the beauty contest. Stow it. I got other talents.
Yes, from right here, Jane, I can see two of them. Oh, Jane, my dear, I repeat, you mustn't be cross. Similar thoughts occurred to you. Now, why not admit? What are you doing? Oh, Jenny, no. Don't be silly. You see, you always think, whilst I act. That's why at 35 you'll never see the extra 20 years I have on you.
I won't, huh? Sorry, pal. I forgot to mention this little item. She's honed real sharp. And I'm not too, against splitting an Englishman.
Makes us even, huh? I neglected to mention this.
You filthy...
Right, up the stairs, Jane. Come on, move. I want to see your attractive rear end preceding me up the stairs. Come on, Jane. All right, Jane. Get your shoes off, and then get into that water.
Oh, no, come on. Come on, please, Foley. Let me take one of the boats, please. You can keep the cash, but at least give me a boat.
I'm allowing you, Jane, to keep your knife. What more can you ask? Go on, overboard. Move, damn it. Come on, Jane. This is the age of woman's lib, dear.
Foley, please,
You must take your chances with the
listen,
men.
you got the money. You can't...
Now, Jane, I'm not a gentleman, I'm afraid. And just as you would have not had the slightest hesitation...
I
Get in the water!
No, there's gators out there!
I'm not denying. Listen, Jane. The alligators are peacefully sleeping behind those thickets on the bank over there. But if I have to fire this gun, they'll panic and take to the water. Then you and they can have a swimming match. You told me how good you are at swimming. You were most rude about my luck. You're getting a far better break than I gave Simple Sam. Now, if you keep your wits about you, Jane, you might even get out of the swamps alive. All right, come on, over. I'm tired of this. Over.
All right. I must have cold better my life, but gee, Foley, you ain't even human. I'm a girl.
She's going at gator ground, mister.
Well, Jane was never too bright. Oh, Jane! You're going awfully slowly. You need a little prompting.
Mister, you done woke up all them gators. They
she was very coarse, awfully uneducated, and not at all pretty. Hello? Where's the old man?
You're being foolish, old man. You might have stood a chance if I'd let you take me into the swamps. That's what you were thinking of at the time, wasn't it? To get me out there and lose me. But I can do without you, you know. I'm quite self-sufficient, even this primordial hangover.
That there Englishman's one hell of a bad man. Blankets, provisos, anything he reckons will help him across that swamp. Well, I guess that'll keep him busy for a while. I guess I gotta be real mean now, because he ain't about to just walk off and leave me here alive. He's mighty upset with me. He'll think of something for sure. He's got to. He could shoot the lock off of that door in time, but I guess all of his bullets will be used up by then, and he won't like that. That Englishman don't know about bilge traps, 'cause this is the only way I can get off of this here shanty boat. Smoke. That's it then. He finally figured out just what to do about me. He's going to burn my boat with me inside it.
The risk of using a tired old cliche, old man. Dead men, you know, tell no tales.
That man's evil. That there man from England is a very bad man. There's all evil in the world in him. Some men need killing.
Well, maybe alligators will like their meat cooked for a change. Yes. Where are the... How the... Come back, old man! Come back! Don't leave me here! I can't
What should I do? What's right? Look at them gators, threshing away from the old shanty boat. Them birds, that crossback fox running away there through the palmettos. Every living thing racing, tearing away like it's a place of contamination. Yeah, and so it is too. No. All three of them are gone now. It's best that way. Some men have to die. What I'm doing's right. I'm the only one. I gotta judge. This here's the way. It's got to be.
Silent herald of life and death, success or failure, the unseen force that measures man's destiny, reaching its most fateful moment as it slowly strikes the 11th hour.